There it goes. And play.
All right, we ready? All right.
Yes, sorry, I was muted to cough.
No worries. Spirit Week came to the college. All the little students and their little clubs putting on a show to get new recruits. But I don't buy it. Smiles don't reach their eyes. And the stink of corruption still hangs over the campus. The entire week is like a bad infomercial. All sham, but none of the wow. Hasn't stopped my co-investigators from getting involved, though. Signing up to frats and improv talent shows by the bushel. Maybe being on the inside will let them find something on the case. Maybe an eye in the crowd is what's needed to blow this thing wide open. Maybe they'll soon be buying a timeshare along the sunny shores of the River Styx. Only Father Time will tell. And that old codger keeps his trap shut no matter how much liquor you pump into him. I know from experience. Well, I still had loose ends of my own to tie up. Jimmy Juggles was giving me an introduction to the local underground gambling scene. We found it hidden in the back room of the campus library. It was worse than I thought. The whole den of depravity was being run by nerds. Wheezy little pocket protector receptacles with more IQ and free time than broken bones. Despite my innate disgust to the company of the academically abled, I got info out of one of the geek squad. It was a former roommate of one of the victims, who says the dead girl was meticulous about her equipment despite being killed by it. Like a jigsaw in a toilet, pieces were all coming together, but just not in the right shape. There was too much shit involved. My suspicions were proven correct, however, when a local pie cart went on a rampage. I had to put it down. Now, seeing that confection conveyance vehicles were no longer to be trusted and unable to locate the secret underground prostitution ring I know exists, I elected to cut the head off the snake and disable the confetti creation contraption in the workshop. Only to find Miss Roommate Nerd and a friend whose name I did not catch but who seemed very respectful towards me, slinking into the machine in the dead of night. Half the Poindexter Polycule claimed they were using the confetti as food to save money. The words were as hollow as the calories of that confetti, so I sent them away and disabled the machine. Going to the weekend, I was left with more questions than free time, but an old flame from Mime Town called me away on other business. Need to remember to pace myself. The college may be in the heart of crime. Oh, sorry, I misread. The college may be the Tootsie center of crime. It will take more than 3 licks to reach the center of this pop. Or my name isn't Private Detective Willie J. Cox. That's it.
It gets me laughing every time.
Mute. I had to mute because I was chuckling.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How
same
do you
here.
spell Tootsie? That's what tripped me up as I wrote trust.
Toot.
Toot.
SIE? Tootsie Pop?
S.
Yeah, Tootsie.
Okay, thank you.
I had to think about it for a second. I went, wait, how do you spell Tootsie?
Yeah, I'm bad at that.
I know Toots, and I imagined it was an E or a Y at the end. So.
1, 2,
I
3.
think one of my favorite lines in there was the academically abled.
Yeah. Den of nerds.
But yes, last time we left off, it was the Monday of Spirit Week. The whole campus is abuzz. Let me see. There's some. Okay, I'm trying to find the music I usually play for the ambient stuff, but I can't remember which one it was. No, that one's a little too funny. There we go. So, yeah, the entire crowd of people in the college are just abuzz. Like the campus square, people from outside of the college are here. You see students kind of gathering in different areas depending on what they're planning on doing each particular activity. You know that today is Monday. It is the day of pranking and practical jokes. You know that as students and faculty are all encouraged to participate, whether you do or not as the characters, your choice. But I'll go down the list as we go through the day of what is happening, and if you wish to participate or even be there to watch anything happen, or if you wish to investigate anything during the day. It's a little different than the normal day breakdown since there's all kinds of different activities going on.
Sounds fun.
So you do know that the first up is the campus prank wars. While it technically happens all day, there are basically a sign-up list of people who are participating. As you get more points to prank somebody who is actively participating in the prank wars themselves. It's a way to kind of encourage pranking against people who are actively participating rather than just random passerbys.
So you flag yourself for P versus P. I got it.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So if anyone wants to do that in this, go ahead and put a 1 in the chat box or something. Again, not required, but
Yeah.
that is one thing that's going to be happening.
Cap, sorry, can you repeat what it is we're opting
It's a
into?
prank war. Basically, it's a campus-wide pranking of each other to try to one-up each other on how good your prank is versus how bad it is compared to others.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay. The next one is a sleight of hand speed round. It's how many objects you can make disappear within 30 seconds. If you wish to participate in that one, you can also put a 2 in the chat so I can keep track of this later on. Okay. And then third up is a unicycle limbo. And if you want to participate in that one, you would also put a 3.
Which day was? So I remember there were 2 events that board.
The
had
one
signed
you
up
were
for.
looking at was the slapstick obstacle course and the human pyramid race, I imagine.
Yes, that one, as well as the synchronized
Synchronized mayhem.
synchronized mayhem or something like that. Yeah,
That,
Is that-
one is synchronized nonsense. That is Wednesday.
that's it.
So you can participate. The thing is, you can participate in as many as you want each day,
Mhm.
because there's probably some students that are just participating in everything just to have a good time.
Mhm.
They have it spaced out enough that you can technically do all of them within the day, of them the major ones. Keep in mind, there's also smaller ones. There's the games where they throw darts at balloons to try to pop them.
Yeah.
There's dunking booths where you try to dunk some of the faculty into water. It's the whole 9 yards in terms of everything. But these are just the main things per day.
Mhm.
And there is at the end of this day a what's called the Misdirection Masters Showcase, which is a competition to showcase your best tricks, illusions, or comedic magical presentations. That one you could put a 4 in if you want to do it. I just wanted to get all these out of the way first so we can know who's doing what.
What was the second one again?
Sleight of hand speed round.
Okay.
And it's completely valid if you don't want to do any of them, just FYI. So
And
Yeah.
what was the third again?
unicycle limbo.
I think board will give a shot at the limbo. No harm in trying, right?
Yeah, because it's one of those things your characters, you want to be at these events and stuff
Yeah.
to try to keep an eye out for what's going
Yeah.
on. but there's also like some of your characters are probably wanting to participate. Like Board, for instance, is probably
yeah.
definitely wanting to participate in quite a lot of things.
Mhm.
It's basically your first year at college. You're probably like your character's probably very into everything.
Yeah, Board would still watch the sleight of hand one. I feel like that might be insightful towards somebody that might be able to
Who's sneaky.
pull some. Yeah, who's sneaky, but who might be able to sabotage, various items like that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I'll
Quick
be
advance.
present for all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I'm
there's
just not gonna
the
be-
option to be
just not gonna
present during these, but there's also the option of investigating outside of the
Mm.
activities as well. So just keep
Okay.
that.
Okay.
So like if you think you might have a lead on something that you either find or you have an idea of what you want to look at, or if you think there's not going to be anything that happens, there's always options for all that.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Real quick, would you mind organizing the characters folders so the suspects are in a separate NPC folder?
is it
Or is it
character ones?
all the students that are listed
They're
there?
all
are those suspects?
Mm-hmm. They're all
Everybody-
All the NPCs are considered suspects. They are listed
Students
there.
or
like
students
in
or
fact,
everybody?
These were
because
all the people that
at
were
the
present at the time of the
perception-
murders.
These were all the people who
Okay.
were present at the time of the last. couple.
Oh, okay.
So
So
that's why
I
they're
was
considered, suspects is because everybody that's on the list of NPCs were there during the two murders.
Oh, okay.
There are other people who were present at one or the other. These are all people that were present in the areas of both of the murders.
Okay. I think I've been so focused on students I hadn't considered some of the staff.
Yeah.
All right. Good
So
to know.
that's So all of them are like the prime suspects because the fact that they were there both times. Because there were probably some students and some faculty that were there at one or the other, but they basically gave you like a list of people who were present. So
Okay. I could work with that.
okay. So yeah, the campus prank war. It's all in good fun. There's no harm or damage to somebody or like permanent damage to someone's like actual property in terms of like, yeah, you're not gonna like destroy everything in someone's dorm room, but you might unleash a pig in someone's dorm room.
Mhm.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what you would do is either pick somebody at random or pick a particular target, and you would use your sleight of hand versus their passive perception. And if it succeeds or fails, you could describe what the prank was.
Sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, it's a sleight of hand versus the target's passive perception.
Okay.
And depending on whether it succeeds or fails, you can describe it however you want of what the prank was to the person.
Okay.
And like only one prank counts towards like the winner or loser today. It's why like the last week there was people practicing and doing pranks around campus
Okay.
so much because everyone was trying out different things to decide what they were going to prank people with on this day.
Would we, when Board signed up for the event, going through the list, which of the students, or actually, which of the students that are on the list here on the NPCs are present?
So on this one in particular, there is Binky, there's Trixie of the students. Flummery Figglefizz is basically leading the like gathering, and he's going to be doing the announcing of the start of the game. He's like the one who's overseeing this activity.
Mhm.
So he's not participating, but he is the overseer of it.
Okay.
And other than that, there was quite a few other non-named NPCs playing, or like named ones that don't technically have the rap sheet that you have right there.
Okay.
So those of you who signed up, you arrive early in the morning. I say early, but it's college. It's probably like 8 a.m. It's not like at the crack of dawn. The Figglefizz, the clowning professor, in his short stature, is standing on top of what looks like half a dozen egg crates that are just kind of set up in like a pyramid shape to kind of get him height to overlook the crowd. And there's quite a lot of people here. And you see Trixie, who seems to be fiddling with some kind of animal that she had kind of cupped in her hand. You see Binky in the crowd. He has a it looks like he has a massive like crate that he's just kind of like has under one arm, but since he's so large, it looks like just like a normal size one to him. But if you were to head it closer to him, you're a half orc, so it's still pretty normal for you. But a normal person would probably have to like lug it around, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just in terms of body size versus like the object itself.
Okay.
And then sorry. The Professor Figglefizz puts his finger up in the air and shoots out what looks like a magical spell that shoots up like 10 feet and like erupts into like a little loud firework to kind of get everyone's attention. He's like, well, hello there, children. Today is my favorite day of Spear Week. The Campus Prank Wars, I humbly have to admit that I was the main winner during my four years at college. And you see him kind of like wait for a round of applause, and it takes a couple seconds before a couple of the other people in the crowd begin to clap and applaud. He's like, oh, thank you, you do go on. No, please go on. And he like makes some hand motions trying to make him clap louder.
Board will clap louder.
Oh, yes. And he waits for it for a second, kind of like lets the applause wash over him, like he's like, yes, before he lets it subside. He goes over the rules, which I've already kind of explained out of character, which is, primarily you're going to be pranking other people within the crowd. And your pranks should not do permanent bodily harm or property harm to any of the particular people. But you have until the end of the day to prank your target. When you decide on who you're going to prank, you actually do have to go to him and let him know so he can write it down so he can then later score it depending on what you do.
Okay.
So yeah, you see, like I said, Trixie, you see Binky. You see probably about 20-ish more other people in the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Various different humans, orcs. You see a couple Dragonborn students, a bunch of other, and then a couple other miscellaneous people that just are of varying different races.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think Board will just kind of be looking around one of the randos at the moment.
No worries. Before we get into what you both decide, because I think Dizzy Dan's there as well. Yeah. Before you decide on what to do for prank wise, during this introduction and going over the rules of the prank war, those of you who aren't participating who are there, if you want to do anything while this is happening or observe anything, let me know.
I didn't want to stay at the war site, but I did want to see if Dante or my boss leave either their dorm room or their office to go to this.
Yeah, that's easy enough to track because, being a janitor, you know where like the dorm room is that Dante lives at, and it's obviously where the headmaster's office is.
But did those two go down to participate in the event?
No. You notice Turvin hasn't left his office today. And going forward, probably for the first half of the day, if you decide to keep looking later, but he doesn't seem to be leaving his office. Dante does leave in the morning, but he's not actually participating in the prank wars. you see him in the process of helping set up some of the smaller events. And he seems to be doing shifts with, today at least, in a ring toss game.
Got it. I want to go search his room when I have the chance.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do it now, you can.
Okay. Yep.
Remind me one more time which one of these notable NPCs are participating in the prank war?
Trixie Tumblepuff and Binky Boykerson, the bottom two.
Gotcha. I'm not gonna do anything right now, but while the prank war is ongoing, I would like to shadow Binky because he was the one that lost his pie card, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Easy enough. We'll get to that once the prank war happens, but
Absolutely.
you say something, Colt?
Is that the one that you beat up?
No, that's Squeaky.
Okay.
Squeaky and Binky.
I haven't beat up Binky yet.
Yet.
It's too early in the investigation. I can't take any options off the table.
Let me ask you this, Richard. Do any of the other prank contestants drive clown cars?
You imagine so, because there are a couple people in full clown attire. You see at least probably a group of 3 in the near the center. You know of one that just by name actually, because he repeatedly will get into trouble and you basically have to stop hanging out around the cooler and go deal with him. That is Rufus McSnort. He is the ringleader of a bunch of different clowns that rather than going for the old school round red nose, they have what looks more like a snowman's carrot for a nose.
Okay.
He's trying to start a new trend, clearly.
Okay, give me a minute to think.
Yeah, no worries. That's why I'm trying to go over everyone's plans so that way they have time to think in between. As far as Tassalara, do you want to do anything at this point, or would she still be in bed at this point?
I was still in bed.
Fair enough.
Easiest way to avoid getting pranked is to not be there.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
You're a sleep director, most vulnerable. So I've been taking amphetamines for years.
So we'll go ahead and start with Norm's action to investigate Dante's room. So go ahead and give me a stealth check if you wish to just do this without being seen, obviously.
Yep. He's gonna use invisibility.
So you'll have advantage.
Come on, big money. Good. 6.
Okay. So you were able to enter the room without too much ado. The door sticks a little bit, and you have to force it with the shoulder to open up, but you're able to get in, no problem.
What kind of action would it be to just kind of rummage through quietly, like he's cleaning, but looking through the stuff for any types, anything out of the ordinary?
I mean, to be fair, you don't have to look like you're cleaning since you're invisible.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You can say if you want to try to leave things how you found them.
Yeah.
I would say I imagine that'd be a sleight of hand, or you can make an intelligence, a flat intelligence check to try to remember where everything was left before you rummage through.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't think you had advantage on that, so that would be the 9 there.
Yep.
Okay, so are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just trying to get a sense of what he has in his room?
Yeah. So my current suspicion, or idea is that Dante committed the tricycle act or sabotaged the unicycle on the tightrope act to try and kill his rival Zara. But instead, didn't we find out that Zara couldn't do it that night, and so the lady that died had to do it that night?
Let me just double check. I just have a big handout that I made myself called Murder Plot that has a lot of my notes on it. So
Mhm.
I mean, you've got so many leads you have to in this.
I don't see anything about her supposed to have been there, but you do know that she was supposed to be like the star trapeze student.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be hard to assume that she would at least have known of the event and at least help do things there. But she wasn't supposed to be the one that did the active performance.
Am I just making this up, or did we learn that the person who died on the unicycle wasn't the person that normally does it? Brute, does anybody remember hearing that?
I remember hearing that she was meticulous about her equipment.
Yeah, she was meticulous about her equipment. But
Elevator
the
was?
equipment. I'm pretty sure I said the equipment got changed out last minute.
Yeah.
I might have said something else. I don't know, but I'm just trying to go through my notes here and see if I have anything. But I can't remember saying any of that.
If nobody else remembers hearing that, then I'm getting myself confused.
I mean, either way, it's a good lead to lead on anyway. So
Yep.
Go ahead.
So we will investigate Dante's.
Yes. So as you enter, the first thing you notice is his bed looks like it is completely made back up after he left, like down to like a T in terms of like it's tucked in on the sides and everything. It has a long body pillow that has a cover that has a photo of himself on it. And doing a dramatic pose.
We knew he was a jerk.
He has everything pretty much in order in terms of what this is honestly the cleanest dorm room you've ever been into. The dirtiest thing in this room looks to be the mirror at his at his end table, as it looks like it has kiss marks on it.
Love yourself much.
Looking through with that investigation especially, you don't really find too much. You find in one of the drawers a big stack of papers and letters and everything that are all kind of twined together.
Read through a couple of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's back and forth between the former performing arts director before what's his name? Before Balthazar Flipwick took over. A professor known as Aerith Vale. Seeking ideas for new stunts and approval for different ideas that they have, while the former professor keeps talking about how talented they are, but often warning them to tone down their recklessness.
All right. I put all that back.
Yeah. If you open this closet, everything is meticulously in order. You see a box full of miscellaneous personal effects. All his clothes are neat and orderly, zippers down on every coat. Everything is ironed and pressed. Very, very meticulous. This man.
Alright.
All in all, you don't really seem to find anything in his room.
Storm's gonna get out while the getting's good. He's done some top-notch sleuthing today. Fantastic stealth, intelligence, and investigation.
Mm-hmm. As you go to step out, you hear from behind you, looking for something in there. You're still invisible, but keep in mind.
Does he see anybody?
Turning around, you see Zara.
No.
And you would know from being on the campus, these two do have quite a vocal rivalry.
Why are you in another student's room?
How about Ghost?
Well, I'm not in the room. I'm waiting outside.
Oh, was she? Oh,
Yeah, she was waiting outside, and as you left the room,
And you're
yeah,
invisible.
yeah. But like his stealth was not very good. She picked up on the movement a little bit.
Well, I was waiting to see if anybody broke in. He was a bluff. We've had some concerns on the campus, as you're well aware.
As much as I hate the man, I can't imagine Dante is involved with anything. He's much too uptight for that.
Agreed. That's why I was in his room, waiting to see if anybody else would come in. What are you doing here?
She looks a little taken aback when you like reverse question her. Excuse me, I'm not the one breaking into a student's room.
The janitors are allowed all over the grounds.
Some tells me that's not 100% true, but how about we just pretend neither of us were here?
We clean everywhere, but I'm specifically here for reasons like this. Where's her normal room? I bet I would know
her normal room is in a different wing of the it's in the same like dormitory, but it's like across the other end. So she has to take a 10-minute detour just to walk over here.
Are you in the storm visiting someone in particular?
Oh yeah, I'm totally visiting my many, many friends.
Trying to go to the notes to see if I knew if she had any
I'm
friends.
going to attempt her bluff check against you.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
Yeah, she's one of my students, but I'm not present at this time.
That's pretty good. What
Yeah.
would it go against?
Probably your sense, not sense. Is it sense motive in this one? I can't ever remember. Insight?
Insight?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. But if you're looking for anyone suspicious, I do have my suspicions on. She kind of looks around, like kind of leans in. Have you heard about the new teacher of? I want to say the dramatic prose, but I'm not sure if that's what we called it.
Monologues.
The new professor of monologues. He's having the other students investigate each other.
I'll
I mean,
look in on that.
I'm not going to object because it gives me extra credit, but it does seem a little suspicious.
It does. I'll look into it. Thank you for the tip.
Mm-hmm. Of course. As you see, you're just like look around and then like saunter off.
I'm curious about the professor's interaction of finding a rat amongst his crew.
But after that happens, Bored, Dizzy Dan, do you have any ideas of what you want to prank?
I do.
Or who you want to prank?
Yes. So I'm going after Binky.
You're going after what?
I'm going after Binky. He is my target.
Gotcha.
So you said we go up to the professor and kind of describe the plan and all that stuff, the prank.
You just tell them who. The
Okay.
prank is like observed after the fact.
Okay.
They just need to
So-
know who, so they know who to watch for it.
So Board would have been, preparing for this day for a little while and just practicing and all that stuff. Do you want me to give you the prank in a nutshell, or do you want me to set the scene and narrate it to some degree?
Let's have first you roll if it's a success or not,
Okay.
and then you can describe how if it succeeds or fails. You can describe the entire showing of it.
Okay.
Basically, that way you have a good idea of how, like, rather than like waiting until afterwards and seeing how it succeeds or not.
Well,
then describe that.
I envision narrating a way where it kind of sets the scene and all that.
Okay. If you want to do it that way, that's fine too.
Yeah, and
Yeah, so-
I think I know at what point the role will go, and there will be a little bit of option for me. Well, okay, so let me just set
Yeah,
the
go
scene
ahead
and we
and
can
start it.
role play from there. All right.
Yep.
So, in like not the courtyard, but like a very main thoroughfare, would be a very gaudy, attention-grabbing, and almost an overt trap in the form of a gift, oversized gift box with a big tag that says "For Binky" on it. In a space where Binky would come across it, and also would probably get a nice crowd of people there, just kind of like, I dare you to. Just kind of add that little bit of peer pressure. It's an overt challenge, really.
Mhm.
And they know the prank war is going on, so how does Binky approach such a overt challenge, right?
Mhm.
So
I'll tell you right now, if you have like a box that just has "For Binky" on it, Binky would probably get close to it and be like, I know I shouldn't, but it's a gift for me. And he would reach down and like cautiously try to open it.
okay,
So at that point, I would say, like, go ahead and
yeah,
do the sleight of hand, and
Yep,
we'll
yep,
say
yep.
that if he succeeds in preventing it, he's able to like move out of the way, whatever happens.
Okay.
So go ahead and give me your sleight of hand.
perfectly
And
average.
let me check his passive perception. His passive perception is a 10, so that succeeds.
Okay, so as he lifts it up, it pops open. A little, like, a bunch of confetti shoots out, a little horn and a little flare, and a like almost like a comedic, like punching, boxing glove, but it falls just short, and it's just there, kind of hanging down, and but what that was just the decoy. That was the signal for on the other side, in a inconspicuous place, Board with his catapult and a comedically sized pie. Upon seeing the signal flare, he triggers it and sends that pie skyward toward basically the long range pie. That as Binky's distracted by the overt gift, you hear because it does have a whistle and attached to it, the bomb dropping, and the shadow kind of zooms in, again, cartoon style, right? And of course, behind that is as it's kind of hurling through the air, you have more star-shaped confetti sailing behind it, and just as Binky looks behind, it towards the sound coming towards him, unavoidable, this massive pie that is, think similar to like Ghostbusters when they kill the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, just the
and how big did you say this pie was in terms of like size wise?
I would say person size. It's easily something that will coat his entire body.
Gotcha. So yeah, when it hits him, he does the comical, like as it hits him and it covers him, his whole body like does that backwards roll, and like it would be like one of those things where the camera kind of, you see it out of sight where he's like rolling, and there's a crowd of people kind of blocking the vision, but you just see a bunch of shit get knocked up in the air. You see like the different pie fillings just keep shooting up in the air as he's like rolling backwards until he hits something. There's a loud cacophony of bangs and clangs. Followed by him like laying there covered in the pie, stars kind of like swirling around his head. And that is a successful prank.
Board does the jump in like fist pump.
Get stuck in the air.
Freeze frame. Freeze frame.
Oh my God. Help me, I'm scared.
All right.
You see the emergency mimes come up and help you get out of the freeze frame position.
Yeah.
They're accustomed to it.
So I'm gonna be pranking this tumble puff lady then.
Gotcha.
So how do we determine what we're rolling again?
You just roll your sleight of hand against their passive perception.
Okay. Sleight of hand. There we go.
Sleight of hand. That's very good. Her passive perception is only a 12, so that definitely succeeds. So
All right. So what I do is I find in the parking lot someone who was a car unlocked, and so I pick it up off the ground, and then I use as many casts as I have that day of conjure animals to fill the clown car with skunks. And then I close the door and kind of shake it up in my hand like it's a 6-sided dice. Then wait for those skunks, casting time for them to disappear again, and then I'm gonna go to Trixie's dorm, knock on it, use alter self person, and say, as a part of the new initiative of the school, we're offering low-cost transportation for the students. Could I interest you in a look at some of our finer models of clown cars to get you to and from your classes?
And you say you picked up the clown car?
Yeah, because
Okay, it's like one of those
tiny little car.
like tiny little clown cars. Got it. Okay. I missed that part.
Yep.
And
Okay.
then she opens the door, and the green cloud of skunky fart gas.
Yep. It just wafts out, hits her. You see the skull and crossbones as it hits her face.
The foghorn. Brrr.
Her skin starting from her toes begins to turn green as it hits her head, and all her hair stands up like fucking Elvira or whatever her name is. That's from like not Elvira. Bride of Frankenstein, where that big head, like Bart Simpson style hair goes all the way up. She shudders.
Even gets
she,
a white
falls
and silver
down.
streak through it.
And that is also a successful prank. Going from there, Willie, you're tracking Binky. I imagine you already saw the whole thing with Board and his prank happening.
Yep, I'm gonna continue following after that.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth if you wish to not be seen.
Shit.
I
The 12 succeed on the sleight of hand. So...
Yeah, so he's not looking for you, so that does succeed. So yeah, he does seem to, after that whole incident with the pie, you actually do see him following Board around.
Mm-hmm.
Seems that they both chose each other to prank. There's at one point where I imagine, Board, you're probably also checking out the other events and stuff that are taking place and just like looking around at things.
Mm-hmm.
So give me 1 second. I will roll his sleight of hand real quick. Sleight of hand goes off of Dex, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what's your passive perception for board?
13.
13? Okay, so at first, Will, you're the one that sees it first. You see him set up a bunch of like what looks like crates that are about maybe 2 feet in diameter. Just square crates. He's setting them up all around in the area where board is coming towards. And you actually see him lift the lid off of one of them, and in a feat of you can only think of as lunacy, he somehow managed to fit his entire body in this little crate. And then you see his massive arm come back out and grab the lid and put himself in it tight and shut. Around this time, board, you come in and you see all these crates, and you immediately clock, oh, these are the ones that board had. And you like you pause for like a second, and you're like, oh shit, these are the ones that board had. And you manage to like run away as you see him like jump out of one and try to fling a pie at you. And he times it bad, so as he does that, he dives back into the crate. He comes out of another crate and winds up accidentally hitting himself with the own pie that he threw. Only to land, get hit in the face with said pie, land on the crate. That one shatters, and the rest of them just disappear as his entire prank falls flat. But at the same time, you see him unable to stop laughing after it happened.
Board would be laughing and clapping too, and kind of punctuate with, mine was bigger.
Other than that, Willie, the only thing else you see him do is you see him head into the workshop and come back out about an hour later.
Is he carrying anything?
He is.
What's he carrying?
It looks like a large wrapped, like, it's like body length, and it's like a tall, like, say if you like wrapped like a fishing rod or like a long walking stick, that kind of thing. You're not quite sure what it is wrapped up, but it looks about that kind of length.
Right. I'll just tell him to see where he takes it.
He eventually just heads back to his fraternity.
Gotcha. Pretty amateurish prank. If he really wanted to get bored, he should have legally had board married to a marmalade sandwich. He would have had no idea how to get out of that.
Eat the marmalade sandwich.
Nope. It's cannibalism now. It's murder.
Have someone else eat it.
Wait a week until it expires.
Yeah.
But otherwise, the prank wars do manage to conclude. There's quite a few other pranks. Quite a lot of them involve pies this year, it seems. There are a couple that involve various forms of glitter. Though one of them looks sad. Like you see a couple of kids look sadly as last time they tried to get glitter, Willie kind of quashed that when they were trying to make some edible glitter.
Like,
Yeah.
I think like Lay's THC edible glitter.
Right. But the winner actually does turn out to be Dizzy Dan with his clown car skunk shenanigans. Hold on one second.
Thank you. I'll take my reward in cash.
Board would cheer for you.
You see Professor Figglefizz. He's like, yes, excellent prank. I gotta say, not as good as the ones I've done in the past, but still not too bad. And he hands you this small trophy. Looks like the shape of a toilet.
I take the trophy and hand him his car.
Oh, that was my car. Oh, I'm gonna have to get reupholstered. You bastard!
That was a twofer.
Oh, I'll get you, I promise.
Why I'm angry enough to commit a murder.
Turning
You
it,
just
turn
see
around,
Turbin open the
walk
window.
off,
Murder? No.
walk off with the crowd cheering as I hit the Richard Nixon V for Victory pose.
Mm-hmm.
Skunks are an
Are
actually very
you-
gentle creature.
Are you in a different physique every time? Like, or are you?
No, he has a specific disguise as a security guard that he calls
Okay.
Daniel.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
But as far as the prank wars, that's pretty much curtains for that one. While none of you are participating in the sleight of hand speed round, it is performed on a stage. I think which one? Hold on. Let me go to the.
I will say, as I get the reward, we zoom out into the crowd, and we see a bull staring forward, thinking contemplatively, stroking his chin with a hoof, going,
Then it goes back to reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
So yeah, the sleight of hand speed round actually takes place at the Library of Laughs. As the shelves kind of have a habit of moving on their own, usually to get in people's way, it makes for an excellent way to have the sleight of hand happen. And they have like a little area set up in there and various different objects. There's pies. There's like rubber chickens, rubber ducks, different miscellaneous knickknacks, all kinds of stuff like that. All of them tagged for this actual event. Those of you who are not, none of you are participating. Those of you who are there, I'm not sure who would be. Let me know if you are watching the event.
Yeah, Board would be there.
Oh yeah, I'm watching it.
Okay. So, of the people who are there, you see Jimmy Juggles, and you see the Professor Figglefizz is actually a participant in this one, and a bunch of other different students that aren't on the main list. So Willie, Board, you're watching this. If you wish to watch, go ahead and give me a perception. If you want to just do a general overview of it, or if you're looking for anything in particular, let me know.
General overview.
Yeah.
12 was the number of the night for me, apparently. Let me just make sure. Your opponent. Oh, I know. I can only just use a bonus action to do it as an inquisitive. Okay. Carry on.
No worries. Give me a second. So, let me just roll a couple things real quick. I'm just gonna roll a bunch of d20s. Okay, so you see the competition begin, and the gnomish professor of clowning, Figglefizz, sorry, does his best. He doesn't seem to be too terrible at it, but all these tables that these things are on are all at human size, and he is on the lower end of height for a gnome. So he isn't quite able to do as well as he would like. The one who does do really well, however, is Jimmy Juggles. By the end, he is tied with someone by the name of Bingo Featherstone. The only reason he doesn't pull ahead is because he has a habit of juggling the things. He sleight of hands and loses points on that. Overlooking it, you actually do see Jimmy had pocketed several things that probably would have let him win if he had actually turned them in, but he seems to have kept them. Hold on.
You said Jimmy Juggle stole from the competition?
Yes.
I'll lay into it later.
I need to take a bio real quick if Richard's
Yeah,
taking the call.
I'm gonna quickly fix it during the right back.
Yeah, go ahead and take drink breaks and all that. Ugh. I'm back. But it seems like I'm the only one.
I'm back.
Present.
Present.
Mhm.
All right, I'm back.
You
Howdy.
just waiting on, I think, Gombo and maybe Kenneth if he left, but I don't know.
I'm here.
Okay.
Honk your cloud notes if you're here. I suppose they'd all probably have to make a different noise.
Oh, my cat's mad. I had to trap him in this room because he's trying to eat all the other cat's food.
Yeah,
How
that
dare
happens.
Yeah. I'm a monster, I'm sure.
you?
Can you hear it?
Yep.
This is such a pathetic little meow, that one.
No. Oh, God. It's going to be one of those problem cats, I swear to God. Ugh.
Maybe they'll mellow with age. It's a young animal, right?
Yeah, it's only like
Yeah.
6 months old, I think.
They're all crazy when they're that age. You just gotta wait to see if it stays that way.
Yeah. Some of them get crazy, stay crazy when they get older, but most of them settle down. The last cat, I think, settled down around 3 years old. But before that, whenever it would want to run, it would parkour off the walls of the house.
Oh yeah, I got a cat that likes to fucking. I got these
Come back.
scratching post covers over the door frame so they don't scratch them up, and the cat will climb up them. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Good thing you land on your feet.
Unrelated, I saw this Reddit thing earlier. Game of Thrones star Sean Bean doesn't mind being a meme, saying I'm not really dead. And the first comment I saw was, that's exactly the kind of thing a dead person would say, Sean Bean.
Thanks.
This person is dead and they've been replaced conspiracy is my favorite one because it's always just someone has gotten older.
Yep.
Look at these differences in their face. Their jaw was right here and now it's right here, and it's like, nope, their skin just sags a little lower now, it appears.
Or the reverse when they get old and then they have surgery.
Oh yeah.
I think we've talked about it multiple times, but I hate that they're getting fat removed from their cheekbones now
Oh yeah.
in Hollywood. It's looking
Well,
so bad already.
From the cheekbone? Or like
Yeah, I
just
mean,
the jowls?
the person that comes to mind first is the what's her name, Ariana Grande. If you look at what she looked like before and what she looks like now,
That woman is sick. It appears
Yes.
to me. I saw the Wicked movie, and both of those women were so thin. I was like, they're not gonna make it through winter.
Yeah, that was the funny part because I had always agreed with you, Michael, that they very thin, and then I saw Wicked clips after you pointed that out, and I'm like, good God, someone get them a sandwich. You're absolutely right. Like
Mm-hmm.
it reminds me of when I was in high school. There was some girls that whenever they had to walk through the center of campus on a windy day, they had to move in groups of 4 holding each other, because otherwise the wind would blow them too much and they would tumble. And I'm just like, you've gotta like
Eat a hamburger.
I get beauty standards fucked up, whatever, but a fucking an adult woman should not fucking blow with the wind. Jesus Christ.
And we had a friend growing up. She was a state champion cross country player or cross country runner.
Mhm.
As either a freshman or a sophomore, she won state and was only going to get better, and no one was ever going to be able to beat her because she won by like time. It wasn't close at all. And that summer, she just got real into, well, she was already very much into her weight. We just didn't realize that she was doing cross country to lose weight, but she kept losing, and refusing to eat, and dropped down from a healthy weight. She was in great shape, down to like 80 or 90 pounds. Her parents ended up having to pull her out of school. Like, she never came back to school with us. She had grown up all her life with us, but had become so, what's it called?
Malnourished?
What's the disease? Malnourished, but also
anorexic.
yeah, the anorexia was just
Psychological.
such that she psychologically it had just destroyed her. And this was a girl who would have been a valedictorian of the high school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just real sad.
And I know it's not all to do with like the appeal for like men or anything, But as far as that goes, I've never met a man, at least in my own personal life, who prefers women who are literally twigs.
No, that's not my
I know
style.
that's not all that it is. I know beauty standards
Yeah.
are also other women holding them to those standards.
Mhm.
Hmm.
But even from that, I'm like, this seems to me more of a mental health issue more than like trying to stay like good looking as they get older and kind of stuff.
I have known people that would go to a restaurant, would order food, but then meticulously watch how much other people are eating and just make sure to eat just a bit less and then take some home, just to appear to be eating less.
What the hell?
I haven't noticed that, but that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Oh, I just couldn't take another bite.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, they ate like a quarter of a basically dollar burger.
Mhm.
And like,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I-
sure you take a bigger bite than that. Come on.
I have the exact opposite thing that was pretty funny. I remember I went out with some friends when I was in Canada and we went and all got pizza. We went to a place where we each got like a personal sized pizza and we all got the exact same size. And we're eating, we're talking and having a good time. Then one of my friends looks over and looks down at me and goes, "Wait, how are you already finished?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You've been talking. We all got our food at the same time. How are you already done, but you're still carrying on? What?"
He's got the hamster going on. He's compartmentalized one cheek.
I
for
am the
chewing.
youngest. I am the youngest of three, and
So you have to
with-
pound that shit before they eat it all.
and with a parent that if you thought she thought you were eating too much, she would take it away half through the meal. So you move quick.
I can see that.
When you get it, you eat it, and it's gone.
And then you move on.
Mm-hmm.
Someone
outlet.
told me that like 5 years ago, and I've never been able to unsee it when I'm hanging out with really anyone. It's if you know if people have siblings or not, you can figure out who's gonna finish their food first.
I've got to watch that now because I'm the world.
The more siblings, the more siblings, the faster they eat.
Yep, I'm the youngest of four, and it was even worse because my dad would come by and take food off your plate.
Dad text.
My
You say that
mom-
like you don't do that cope with your daughter. I'm sure you do.
Oh, I do if she's not eating fast enough.
My mom always overcooked. Like she would make a meal. Like if there's 4 people there, there's enough for 10. And because at any point anybody could be showing up. So yeah, she comes from that family of always food for whoever.
Anyway, back to the game.
Yes.
As the event of the sleight of hand draws to a close, and Jimmy Juggles is announced like basically tied for first place. You see Professor Figglefizz being like, he wouldn't say horseshit, but like, this is absolute flummery as his voice cracks, but like the way his voice cracks, it's like the sound of a kazoo at the end of his voice cracking. And he seems very affronted that he didn't win. It's like, I'll have you know, I have gotten so close to winning every performance, every competition I've ever done. The standards nowadays. Oh. And he just like stomps off. Like you see him like try to kick a can, but he's so small it barely moves. Then he casts a spell and has it like launch in the air.
Launches it to the sun.
Yeah, it's basically
You said that was Figglefizz?
yes. Otherwise, you don't really see a lot happen at this competition. While this is going on, I know Bord and Willie were there. Norm, Tassalara, Dan. If any of you were doing anything during this time, let me know if you wanted to like do anything or look around anywhere.
I look around for suspicious characters.
Yeah, go ahead and just go give me a investigation or a perception.
Okay. See which one's better for me. Definitely perception.
Perception 14.
That was a 7. Rolling Thunder.
Let me. I'm just trying to double check something. Looking around, you don't see anyone like that just screams, "Hey, I'm suspicious." But thinking back on the people that you're supposed to be like kind of like investigating, you do see Professor Maine, the animal care professor, and the school nurse Miriam sitting in a far booth at like basically it's like a maid cafe, but it's a mime cafe. So it's a bunch of students doing mime face. I'm sure Willie's glad he's not there.
Damn, a cultural appropriation.
So you see a bunch of people be like, "Hi, welcome to the mime cafe. Can I take your order?" Meanwhile, they're speaking completely verbally.
They're talking.
They're talking.
They're just doing like the wall in front of you motion with their hands, the Mr. Mime.
Yep.
Hello.
More or less, yes.
That's like a white guy being like, "Hold on, let me do a Chinese accent." Oh no.
That makes me just want to post in our chat that I want to be ninja. It was sung by some white lady that was trying
That's
to sell
so
condos.
funny. I saw that on that podcast with Bobby Lee, the comedian. It was hilarious.
Yep. It was so racist, though.
Oh yeah, that's why it was great to see Bobby Lee react to it.
Oh yeah. Bobby Lee. Anyway, you see the two of them talking to each other in like the back like table of the little cafe that they have set up. And they see you don't know what they're saying from the distance, but you do see that they're complaining about something. It's easy to tell by body language.
Okay. I'm going to enter a gaseous form and then hover above a cup of coffee to spy on them.
Nice. Go ahead and give me a stealth at advantage.
Okay.
Very
And
nice.
a second one. That'd be the 22 then.
You blend in perfectly with a cup of coffee, just as like the next table over. The cup of coffee itself is cold, but with that stealth and people not really paying attention to a cup of coffee, it just works. You hear the conversation. A lot of it boils down to Professor Maine. She seems to be complaining about seems to be having a problem with Thursday's plan for Spirit Week. She doesn't really like the fact that they keep using fire with the animals, despite the fact that like jumping through fiery hoops and like juggling and stuff in front of animals and stuff is common practice. She doesn't like how it spooks the animals, and she's just talking about how there's so much that could go wrong, but no one really seems to take her seriously, and she keeps trying to like push it, but other members of the faculty keep pushing back on it and kind of like making all of her experiences nil with that.
This is why I hate these Jestermere liberals.
And
Fucking
you see-
Mesa, we beat the shit out of the bulls and sometimes kill them, I guess, because that's in my backstory.
The Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
I did just for my character's backstory steal the Cowboys of Moo Mesa location and said that's where he's from.
I love that
Presumably they're
one.
not all cows in this version, but
Yes.
Moo Mesa was too great of a location name.
God, that show felt like a fever dream, by the way.
There's a lot of 80s, 90s cartoons that
It's
felt like
because
you-
it was kind of a pseudo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ripoff,
There are so
Mhm.
many of those too.
but it's fucking cowboy cows. It's like an Itchy and Scratchy. It's like a TV show you would see in a TV show,
Yeah.
Mhm.
except it actually aired.
But the only other part of the conversation, you hear that Miriam is like trying to console her and say that she does agree with her and stuff because the potential for danger and being a nurse, that she's very conscious about that. But it seems to be just them complaining about it and wanting to like not do it, but it's part of the scheduled events and they couldn't seem to get it canceled this year, and it seems to be like a common occurrence between the two of them. But yeah, unless you want to like do anything else, that's really all you kind of listening for.
You see one of them look over their shoulder. They see the cup of coffee. They keep talking. A minute later, they look over their shoulder again, and he's there sipping the cup.
Someone put too much hazelnut creamer in this one. It's not that great.
No, he just kind of smacks his lips and goes, "It's fucking cold."
When you hear when they hear you mutter "fucking cold," you see Tilda Man kind of like lean over. It's like, "Oh, well, here," and she casts a little spell, and you see it heat up. Like, you're Daniel, correct? You're one of the security.
Yeah, Daniel.
What? And she like starts asking, like, "What's your thoughts on?" Sorry, my friend and I were just talking about this. What are your thoughts on the use of fire around animals?
Anything to make the show better.
You sound just like Figglefizz. I guess you can't argue with showmanship, I guess.
Animals aren't that great.
And you just see that look on her face, like, heavens to Betsy, someone said that in my presence.
I mean, geez, like if you piss an animal off once, it'll remember it for a lifetime, and then it'll chase you around and buck you off and try and gore you. Or at least that's what my friend Eric told me.
Huh. And you just kind of see her think for a second. It's like, did your friend Eric ever do anything untoward toward the animal? I mean, a lot of animals are sensitive creatures, more than you would give them credit for.
I think the animals just got caught up in their feelings.
Who isn't caught up in their feelings? And then the conversation just kind of devolves from there. Otherwise, is Norm or Tassalar, if you want to do anything before we move on to the next event?
Mm-hmm.
I thought Norm already did his thing.
Well, you did something during the prank war. This is like the second event, so you weren't there to watch this one. So
he'll just
like,
be.
It's not like a whole like investigation, but if you were like wanting to be in a particular area or anything.
Nah, he would just head down to the events.
No worries. Okay.
I feel like it's been enough days to check back in with the squirrels.
Remind me what you were asking them to look for.
Just having them tail Boinkerson, I think.
Gotcha. Yep. They would come back and they say that because they don't know names or anything. They say that they saw the big green one take the bonking stick from the little scaly creature recently, and then they also say that he was during the weekend doing a lot of baking of pies. They do know what pies are.
Gonna kick the shit out of that kobold again.
Otherwise, I'm trying to think if there's anything else they would find, because I do remember you rolled pretty good on their convincing of them.
Well, if they didn't find anything else, just give them more peanuts and continue the trailing.
I was just making sure that they didn't find anything else, because I had it written down, but I couldn't remember where I wrote it down in.
joke from SpongeBob. Did you learn your lesson, old man?
I love the young people. I fucking every fucking SpongeBob reference I get, and it sometimes upsets me.
Mm-hmm.
Had a solid, what was it, 3 seasons before the movie?
Yeah. I thought I had more than that, but who knows? They could have had less. I just wasn't thinking.
Seasons used to be longer.
Yeah.
Before the world of streaming. I remember I got nostalgic on Disney Plus, so I looked up the show. If you guys remember Darkwing Duck,
Yeah.
and I was surprised. Like 2 seasons? I remember like a jillion episodes. There was only 2 seasons. Season 1, 174 episodes. I'm like, oh, that would do it then.
That's
Yeah.
absurd. That's not a season.
They were
It's-
cooking in the 90s. I'll tell you what.
It was probably aired on a consistent weekly basis without a real sense of a season. And so when they put it on the streaming service, they probably just, I don't know why they would break it up like that, but they probably just arbitrarily chose.
Probably when it was when it was renewed.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not like it was serialized.
But yeah.
A couple of '90s cartoons had not quite that kind of season break, but where like different people took over and the show changed. Like one of the other big ones I know of, Dexter's Lab, had a big art change that coincided with different people running the show.
Yeah, I mean that continued all the way up into like the 2000s. I think I still remember shows doing that. What was that? It was not Avatar, but it was another show Dante Bosco worked on. Where it was American Dragon in 2005.
Oh yeah.
There's like, I think there's 2 seasons, and between the seasons, he goes from being an American style dragon to being a Chinese style dragon.
Yeah,
I do remember that when I remember watching that a little bit, and I'm like, wow, like I like the design of the dragon better, but the art style got so much worse.
I am nothing if not a man who loves cartoons.
Yeah. But anyway, the only thing else that they report on is that Binky was getting yelled at by somebody, but they can't really identify who it was during the weekend. That's all the squirrels would have found out.
Yeah. Interesting.
And then going from there, why won't the tab close? There it goes. Board and Dan are also going to be involved in the unicycle limbo.
Yep.
Yeah, Norm definitely wants to go watch that.
Once again, Jimmy Jungles is also performing in this one.
How low can you go? How low can you go?
But that seems to be the only person that's participating on the list of NPCs that seems to be doing that.
If Secula joins, is that cheating?
No, they just have a separate bar for shorter creatures. So a gnome is not going to just walk underneath the one that the human has to crawl under.
That would be kind of funny though.
Yeah.
So maybe that is what happens.
Yes, actually, you know what? Change mind. Yep. So the gnomes get ahead of the race pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it's up at the other points, the halfway point, because they're not as limber as others.
Turn around, shrug, look at the camera. It's a living.
So yeah, this one is just a acrobatics check. And the DC starts at 10, and every time the bar lowers, it is up. The DC is upped by 2. So basically 10 to 12, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Oh no! What a
Well-
disaster.
You're out in round 1. You managed to hang in there. I'm going to roll a series for other contestants. The top one is Jimmy. Jimmy is the only one of the other contestants that makes it. So it's literally just a duel between Jimmy and Board at this point. Also, his acrobatics should have been higher than that anyway. So would have been 7.
So
I'm gonna
can I give my as like the bar gets lower? Can I give my iconic "I'm bored" and use Tumbling Fury to roll at advantage?
Yeah, I'll allow it. That seems fun.
Playing into the showmanship of it.
That would beat the 12 for both of you. Keep in mind, the entire time this is happening, Jimmy is still juggling through the limbo.
Yeah. I like to think that Board, understanding that he has a bigger frame, he has to compensate by that by choosing the smallest unicycle. So he's probably on like one size for a halfling. So you got that comedic,
Yep. The pedals are basically you have to actually take off your shoes
Yeah.
and your big toes to pedal it.
Yeah.
That kind of
So-
small.
Yep. It's one of those of like his toes are nearly touching the ground as he's pedaling while limboing under the bar.
Yeah, and as you tumble through with that last one with the advantage, it says attacks deal additional 1d4. I just picture you go through and you just succeed in the limbo, but then you accidentally headbutt like something
Right.
nearby and it breaks.
I get back up and wham.
Okay,
Another
this one will
one?
be at a 14.
Oof.
Still going strong.
Right.
16. Oh, let's see if you succeed this one. Ooh, the crowd cheers as Board manages to finally clear the last hurdle, which is impressive because you were competing against a halfling.
Yeah.
Like I just picture it like you're on this tiny little unicycle, you're limboing, and it's like you can't exactly pop a wheelie with a unicycle.
Yeah.
So when
And-
you're
and-
doing this, you just see Board's entire frame, like his back is like almost skirting the ground as you're going down this
And
limbo.
I think he'll say, lower. Wanted to go one more time, see if he can make it.
Go for it. See if you can get an 18. You still win regardless, but
Yeah.
hey. No one is sure how you did it with your massive frame, but you managed to get down and unicycle under a beam that isn't even a whole like half a foot above the line.
Right.
So like theoretically it shouldn't even be possible. The unicycle is taller than that.
See, I just have the mental image of Board going, they say I have to go under the bar. They never said how quickly. Then he climbs into a cannon and fires himself out.
Let me put this image into your head. Board's on the unicycle. Like you just said, the bar's lower than the unicycle is tall. So he just slowly inches forward, drifting like down. So that the stand of the unicycle is
He drifts with the
parallel
unicycle.
with the ground.
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious unicycle
Yeah.
drift.
Unicycle drift, yes. On board.
It's about family.
You unicycle Akira slide through the
I when I was sick a few weeks back, I rewatched the live action One Piece, and one of the funniest bits is still from the second episode when they're in Buggy's pirate circus, and it's a scene where one of his hench people come in, and you know the director said ride into the scene on a unicycle as intimidatingly as possible. But it is the least scary thing where they're trying to be scared. I'm sorry, this guy's like, so Rowan Noah Zoro, you killed my brother. I'm like, bro, you came off a unicycle. You're not intimidating anyone.
I mean, to be fair, Buggy doesn't intimidate anybody. That's I think the whole joke.
yeah, that part was good.
I mean, can I do one more roll, lean
Go for
into the
Yep.
Daredevil route where he's got like a long like steep ramp leading into it and go that drift route.
Sure, I'll say this one actually has to be a nat 20 to succeed. Just because it seems like funny that it actually fails.
Ah,
It was a close
let me see
one.
if there's something I could do with the serendipitous survival. Is this do? Let me just read it real quick. So, can I attempt a re-roll where, somebody somebody is the comedic victim as a result of this, as I'm doing the drift?
As you're doing the drift, you wind up tripping one of the former contestants who was trying to say that it was just his practice run. He should get another chance.
Mm.
And they're like, okay, we'll give you one more attempt because you did have a slightly messed up attempt.
Mm.
And as they go to attempt their second try, you manage to actually hit the wheel, or not the wheel, one of the pedals of the unicycle, which causes him to spin in circles and spin out as you're doing your drift.
Do I get a reroll, or is that just a okay? Would it be the full, like, is it just an extra d20, or is
I'll say you have to just meet a 20 without getting a natural 20 for this one, since.
Okay.
But you won't get an advantage this time, though.
You said no advantage?
No advantage, but if you get at least.
Nope.
So you weren't quite able to succeed the really ridiculously low, like, quarter staff.
Yeah.
But damned if you didn't try.
Yeah. I mean, it is classic board. Go for the daredevil stunt and not quite hit it, but fun in the process.
Mm-hmm. And you are awarded another small, like, trophy, like Dan got, though. Instead of a toilet, this one is just literally like a little golden unicycle.
Yeah. And again, I imagine it kind of ended him like tumbling, ass over tea kettle and just landed a tangle. And they just dropped the trophy in his hand, is like awkwardly bent but upheld, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna turn out that these summon our Megazords, and I'm gonna be stuck piloting a fucking toilet.
Hold on a second. I need to go rewrite some plans.
Well, the toilet would be the body, and the unicycle would be the legs, right?
I
mean, clearly.
That's pretty good design.
And the head would come out of the toilet, and something skibbity toilet. I don't know. There's a meme somewhere in there.
I don't know. I'm no longer considered the youth.
I'm not either, obviously.
I don't think anyone here is.
Yeah, I think the one that probably knows most is Michael, just because he works with the youth.
That shit's younger than the kids I work with.
Is it? Okay.
With his daughter?
I don't know. His daughter seems like something else.
You're
she
making
seems
assumptions that I pay attention to my children.
I was gonna say,
You see how he said
daughter
children?
seems-
Means he has another one he hasn't told us about.
Let me be clear. I am absent in every way except physical.
I make my wife do all that shit.
No, Pope's daughter sounds too well adjusted to know about that stuff.
But it seems to be another event that goes off without any problems. I will say this one was probably a pretty short one, so in terms of investigation, there wouldn't really be much. Because it didn't seem like there was a lot of people who wanted to try to do a unicycle limbo.
Cowards.
But it does get towards the evening as the main event for this day of the week begins to roll around. The Misdirection Masters Showcase. And you hear someone come up with like basically a megaphone, be like, "Prepare to be bamboozled. The best tricksters, illusionists, comedic magicians will take the stage tonight with dazzling and confusing performances that will leave the audience jaw-dropping and utterly astounded by their ridiculous performances." As you were informed the previous week that the evening event's attendance is mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
was
even
told we would
people who
get
wanna get out
peanuts
of
to
it.
throw.
There actually is peanuts to throw, yes, and tomatoes and anything else that you could imagine to throw that is not harmful but enough to be annoying. And also, the crowd is encouraged, if the performance is bad, to throw things.
Norm's loading up his bucket.
Just imagining
Gonna
as a performer being mercilessly pelted with handfuls of peanuts. What an all-time low.
And you even see a bunch of people lining up trying to get the because they're getting ready to choose somebody to be the special participant who gets to have the crooked stick to yank people off a stage if they're bad enough. And you see a bunch of people lining up being like, "Ooh, I want to do it this year."
I want to be the stickman. I want to be the stickman.
Anything to be able to ruin a person's performance if it's bad enough.
Yeah, I'll take a baby badger from the barrel they're passing around.
It is very bitey.
Yeah, through one of these to Theodore Roosevelt. That actually happened.
Didn't he keep it?
He kept it. His kids raised it. I just love that someone threw a badger at him as a speech, and his reaction was, "I'm keeping this."
It's
I mean, that is a very Roosevelt thing from what I've ever learned about him.
You know, I think we could learn a couple things from history,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we need to start a steady badger supply for those Republican town halls. You know,
Which one was it that mocked the guy that shot him? Wasn't that Roosevelt too? Or...
I know he
had-
was shot, and then he gave his speech anyway, because the bullet hit the folded up pages of the speech, and he
No,
actually,
because a bullet can't take out the bull moose gombo.
yeah, that,
Give me 1 second.
Getting
he actually led the Rough Riders into combat, so he had been shot before. So after he got shot, he stuck his finger in the hole, pulled out, and he goes, "There's no blood. That means I'm fine." Time to give a speech.
getting shot is great for a presidential campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Theodore Roosevelt was my favorite.
Yeah. So yeah, the evening event for this day, you see a bunch of people on stage. Some you recognize, some you don't. As far as people you recognize, you do see Figglefizz again. You see where's their name? You see actually Dante Sharp up there. And then you see the one that's kind of presiding over this is Turvin, the headmaster. And you just see him come on stage. He's like, "Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Alive, I trust? Yes. And he like pulls out a list, pulls out like these giant like Coke bottle glasses that he puts them on his like head, and you see his normally already kind of bug-eyed look kind of get even wider as the glasses just kind of zoom in on his eyes.
And then the 3 bifocal lenses.
He's like, "Yes, the first contestant is," and then he announces them, and you see like a cavalcade of different performances. You see, Dante is like, while his isn't like bad, it's very like showing off himself more than the tricks.
Mhm.
This man is very into himself. If you haven't gotten that already.
Yes.
To the point that there is some people starting to throw peanuts at him eventually. He's not quite booed off stage, but he's not exactly doing a great job. Couple people come up stage that are absolutely abysmal, that people get thrown at them. The Professor Figglefizz is the one of the last ones to come out on stage, and he very much leans into actually using magic rather than just sleight of hand. casting magic over the stage and above the crowd to create different illusions and tricks that kind of supplement his already normal sleight of hand. Ends every trick with like pyrotechnic explosions in the backgrounds. Very much trying to show up everything. And while you're looking at the tricks themselves, they're not bad, but they're very like textbook tricks, like, oh, is this your card kind of tricks?
Mhm.
But adding all the extra flair to try to make them better.
They taking attendance yet?
Oh, they had people check in as they entered.
Yeah, I'm just like bullshitting.
Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah.
I'm next to.
Yeah. Then the only other person that comes on is the last contestant is someone you've never seen before. It's just some guy. They introduce him as where is his name? His name is where is it? Damn it! I am not good at organizing my name. Anyway, Buster McFluff. That's his name.
Murderer.
Mhm.
Sounds like a great name to me. Well done.
And you see him come up on stage, and he is a rather portly gentleman. You recognize as much because all he is wearing is basically it looks like cut off jean shorts. Every time he laughs while he's on stage, he does the thing where he slaps his stomach and it jiggles, which just makes his loud laugh even louder.
Throw the badger.
And his
He
real
catches
name
the badger,
is-
kisses it on the face while it's trying to bite him, and throws it back in the crowd, followed by various screams, followed by someone screaming, "Ah, my leg!"
Yeah.
real name is Gabriel Iglesias.
Shh, you don't know that. And he concludes his performance by wheeling out two large cannons. And does basically the splits in between the both of them and lights the fuse as they both erupt into the above the crowd in just a cascade of glitter, followed by you hear just the screams from the back of the stage. No! As you just see the head custodian just on his knees screaming at all the glitter he's gonna have to clean up.
Everyone, keep your mouth shut. Don't let it get in any of your orifices.
Front row. It's already too late.
Listen, I know how the glitter's being made in the machine over there. I wrote confetti in my monologue, but I meant glitter. It's a
That's-
problem.
That's like no one understands what you mean because in the clown world, how the glitter gets made is like how the sausage gets made.
No one really
It's
wants
kinda-
to know.
It's kind of a turn of phrase.
Yeah.
And yeah, the performances themselves, there's not like a winner or loser for the evening event. This is just like an end of the stage performance. It ends fairly well, other than the janitor trying to convince the headmaster to ban glitter next year. But yeah, the event goes off without a hitch. The crowd begins to exit out, exit stage left, and all that. And that would be Monday's done, unless anyone wants to do anything during the night.
I am gonna track down-
exchange notes.
Jimmy Juggles.
Before you meet him, are you guys going to meet up? Because I think Loki was asking about that. So
You can do that.
Man, something tells me it's not Jimmy Juggles.
Oh no, he stole stuff.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw that.
We all get together.
I thought that was another one of your bad detective things.
No, that's if I went and beat the shit out of Squeaky right now, which might happen.
it depends
No.
if you walk by him or not.
Depends
Listen,
on how
I've had
good.
a tiring
Depends on how I
day.
feel after this meeting. If I
I've
get
had a
talked down
tiring
too
day, I
much,
could
I might need
treat
to take it
myself.
out on someone smaller than me.
Guys, today was so fun. Any leads?
One, but to follow up on it, I'm going to have to back out of the synchronized nonsense.
Why?
Well, they're planning to be somewhere else at the time.
We could do both.
Well, I can't figure out how to flush this toilet they gave me.
Or maybe somebody could follow up on the lead instead of you.
Binky was moving some goods in and out of the workshop.
Yeah, the squirrels saw someone yelling at him, but they couldn't identify who.
Did I cut out during the joke I was trying to do?
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
neither.
I heard
I
you say
said-
I can't figure out how to flush this toilet they gave me.
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
'Cause
I
implying-
appreciate it. I was just like,
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not saying
the
anything because
little-
I'm
I
not.
couldn't
sure.
tell because I said it and then it was quiet, so I couldn't tell if I.
It was a
If it
good joke, and it
got
reminded me of other stuff, and my mind was quickly like derailed by that, and I was trying
Yeah.
to reel it back in.
Mhm.
It was
Yeah.
like a joke
Okay.
from the start of the beginning of the latest Devil May Cry game where he didn't pay for his plumbing, and he's going, "Listen, I need lights to come on, I need sinks to produce water, and toilets that need to be flushed." And I'm like, "Wait, have you just been shitting in them this entire time?"
That's gonna need a plunger.
Oh god.
For no particular reason, I'm reminded
just
of No More Heroes.
It's just the fact that he separated pipes that need water and toilets that need to be flushed as two different things.
Yeah.
Is what made me wonder.
He ran out of space. He's just been upper
Yeah.
deckering the whole time.
And look, I'm telling you, it's running out of room.
Just pitch you out the window, old school style.
Oh
Mm.
no.
But No More Heroes, the entire game, restrooms are your save spots, and then the post-game boss, you're in your saving, kicks in the door, and the fight starts.
So, I don't know if this is out there or not, but have we given eyes to Professor Figglefizz? I mean, he he runs the Google Shop workshop, so
Mhm.
and then if I've been watching him today, he seemed kind of upset when he lost the competition, and Dan he said he's going to get back at you for skunking his car, what, and I don't know, did Dan, would you have shared the conversation you
Yeah.
overheard?
Yeah.
And then Board will say, I mean, right there, he's fine with animal discomfort in favor of showmanship. I mean, how far does that go?
You
Just-
can't trust that nurse. She's been handing out opioids to the staff. Been trying to get more information on it, but she's got her kid doing surveillance on me during my class.
Sounds like I need to trust the nurse a little more.
Wait, what would the opioids have to do with taking a person, a comedic tragedy?
Taking advantage of the situation. She's making extra profits on the side. She's dirty, I'm telling you. She's working an angle.
yeah. Okay. So this is a deeper conspiracy. It's not just a rogue. What are you saying?
Still trying to put all the pieces together. The drug ring, the opioids, the underground gambling.
Oh, right.
prostitutes I haven't found yet.
When you find the prostitutes, I got your back, bro. Don't forget.
Specifically then.
Yeah.
I can face the peril.
Yeah.
We're talking gambling. We're talking prostitutes. We're talking motherfucking. Well, that's
Cats and
That's
dogs
pretty much
living
all.
together.
In the back
cats
of
and
Board's
dogs living together.
in the back of Bar's mind, he's just shouting, "College, college!"
Are we still working on the same case? Or...
And there's the glitter.
yeah, let's just talk about that one.
One of the
I've been
students-
having a great time with confetti myself. What?
One of
Why
the students
does
been eating the glitter.
eating the glitter?
Anything can be made into glitter with a glitter machine in the workshop. They were grinding
Mhm.
up low-budget food and eating it.
That's disturbing.
Telling you, the glitter is the connective tissue to all of this. And what did everyone in the audience just get dosed with? Mm-hmm.
It does seem to be hated by the one head janitor, and he is on our suspect list. Could he be killing people over the glitter?
Board would look over to Norm. He's your boss, right?
Yeah. He's been in his office all day, hadn't left at all. Been real agitated lately. And what did you say the squirrels said attack? Who did you say the description of
They didn't.
Binky's attacker? Oh, okay.
Just that he was being yelled at by someone.
Out of character, didn't they say it was green?
Huh?
They said
No.
Binky was the big green one.
Yeah, and then he handed something off to a reptile one, which out of character and went for someone to mention that, and I'm just gonna go beat the shit out of Squeaky real quick.
They said he took his whacking stick.
Yeah, by the way, has anybody seen Squeaky's hammer? He's been looking for it.
Oh, yeah, they said that Binky took it, I think.
And now somebody's taking it from Binky?
I couldn't tell you that part.
I'll reach out to Binky, see if I could.
I
get
saw
that back from
Binky
him.
leave in a workshop with something long and fishing rod shaped. Maybe it was the hammer. But back to more important things. Here's my thought process right now. The dark criminal syndicate that runs the underground of this campus is using the confetti machine to dispose of bodies. What it is you grind it up into the glitter and then you shoot it over a crowd. And then when we all separate, we take all the evidence in 1,000 different directions. It's completely untraceable. It's a perfect crime.
It's a slight intrigue / horrified look on Tesla while Seth is at the other corner eating a potted plant.
Listen, it's like how you can legalize murder by shooting someone across state lines. You stand in one state, you hold the gun in the other one, and then you shoot them into the third. Each one is individually legal in each of those states. You should kill anyone you want. I should know. I tested this.
You what?
Wait, did he?
Did he just say that?
Anyways,
Did you see my prank earlier today? By the way,
all right, so we're killing him.
who?
Squeaky?
Oh, hell no.
Those
Squeaky's a great guy.
responsible.
I thought we were just bringing their misdeeds to light. I didn't think we're like this got dark.
It depends on when we confront him or her, feminism, and what they-
This is a very interesting character we've made with these jokes now, Gombo.
I know. That last one I just straight up stole from Disco Elysium. You're investigating a murder, and I had the trait which is radical feminist. And someone's like, whoever the murderer is, why would he do this? And I picked a dialogue, showed it, just go, or her, feminist.
I was watching a podcast and they were talking about dictators, and they were like, I was gonna say him or her, but no, it does seem to only be hims.
Yeah.
But how is the underwear connected to all of this?
Okay.
But yeah, no, probably a 5-floor goodbye. When we find him or her.
So yeah. And,
Well, who loaded the confetti?
Is the question.
Let's go strong arm whoever knows.
Um.
Who are we hired by? They probably know.
Yeah. Norm, Dan, since you both have worked here for a little while, you know that they have a request sheet at the not warehouse workshop that shows people who request different tools, whether it be glitter, confetti, air horns, anything like that. So you'd
Come
be able
on,
to go there
Norm,
and
we're
check.
going to the request sheet in the workshop.
Alright. No one ever returns what they take. End up looking for tools for weeks.
Okay, don't trauma dump on me, Norm. Just go into the workshop.
Start with just going to the workshop.
I'll follow up with Binky. Yeah, make sure there's no hard feelings from the pranks today, and see if I can get that hammer back if he's got it.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Okay. So, Dizzy Dan and Norm are going to go check the sign out sheet for materials. Board is going to go get the hammer back from Binky. What are Willie and Taslar doing anything?
If you don't know what to do, you could always come with us to the workshop in case we get ambushed or something.
I was gonna shake down Jimmy, but my crime mind gives me a detective hunch, as I want to tail the nurse. Scar scale, just in case.
Hello, nurse.
Guess I'll tag along to the workshop.
Okay. Anyone want to start first, or I don't know who wanted. If anyone wanted to go.
I'm just
well,
tailing one.
Yeah, I feel like ours is going to most progress the plot, so maybe do others first, and then we do the three of us.
I'll just roll this stealth. Hey, finally a good one.
Gotcha. And you're tailing who again? Sorry.
The nurse.
Nurse. Gotcha. Tailing the nurse. This late, you do see her kind of in her office, kind of closing up shop. Hold on 1 second. You see her closing up shop, kind of putting everything away, locking up the cupboards and so on and so forth before heading out. You see her heading towards the parking lot, basically, to get into her car.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, the cars in this setting are basically like the ones with the big, like, wagon wheel ones, like the old school, like,
Oh yeah.
when cars were first invented kind of cars.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Um,
So I, a definitely not suspicious shadowy figure in a trench coat, I'm going to tail this woman to the parking lot. Absolutely nothing menacing about that.
Nothing. In fact, I think she would feel safe seeing this person's following her, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she climbed into a newfangled cheap wagon strapped to a explosion locomotive.
I don't trust those
Explosomotive.
things. My locomotion machines are powered by dire hamsters and wheels.
Explosimotive would be a fucking sick band name.
Yeah, Explosive Motive, that's another one. I keep coming up with good band names. I already had Rattlesnake Roomba, and the other day I came up with Disco Danger Zone. Really like that one.
Anyway, you were tailing this lady who
Yes.
probably isn't doing the thing she thinks she is.
But yeah, she seems to be just heading to her car, getting ready to leave.
Well, I'm gonna watch her
So it's
leave.
up to you if you want to do anything.
I'm collecting information.
Chase her Terminator style.
She wanted. She just walks to her car, gets in it, and begins to drive away. If you don't do anything.
How suspicious. I don't do anything.
Okay.
Well, time to go beat the shit out of a lizard.
You're gonna wake up tomorrow and Richard's gonna be like, "You have a complaint from HR, sexual harassment, or restraining order of 30 feet from you and the nurse. She noticed you following her all day yesterday."
That is unfair, sir. There was nothing sexual involved. It was purely threats to her life. I have standards.
I'm not a
Also-
brute.
Also, joke's on you. I was following her from 40 feet.
So yeah, Board, you head to the fraternity.
Yep.
Where's the name of that one? I had it here.
Alpha Honk Omega.
Yes. You see inside. Binky has his hands duct taped to 2 seltzer bottles as he just kind of like opens one. He shoots one into his mouth as he's holding the other one. He's like, "Oh, Board,
Hey, Binky, how's it going?
not bad, seltzer," and he shoots one into your face.
Ford would open his mouth and try to catch it.
Very much so.
Mm.
It is literally
Hey.
just seltzer water.
Nice. I had a great time today. Sorry, your trick didn't go as well as it had hoped. I mean, if it wasn't a competition, I would have happily walked into it. That just seemed like a good time right there.
It's all right. It's the first time I've been out-pied before, but and that's just the drive to make a better pie prank next year.
I take that as high marks, man. I appreciate that. I'll take that title. Hey, I heard you had Squeaky's hammer, or at least from the sounds of it, he's been looking for it, and you might know where it's at.
Wait, Squeaky's. Oh, it's his hammer.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess I do have that, huh?
Hey, do you mind if I grab that for you? He's been looking for it.
Yeah, sure. Come up to my room.
All right.
As he heads out, takes you to your room.
Dun,
I'm
dun,
gonna
dun.
like swing into Dan, Norm, and Tassalara going to the workshop.
That's not gonna end well. You're gonna be fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. You're gonna open the fridge and see a human liver sitting in there.
So Norm, Tassalara, Dan, you all head into the workshop. It's closed at this point, but you have 2 faculty. You're able to unlock it. You turn the lights on, and yeah, there is you hear the gentle hum of the glitter machine. It's pretty much always on. You were told before that Willie had disabled it, but it seems it didn't stick.
Mm-hmm.
And
Turns out the glitter machine was an eldritch abomination the whole time.
but yeah, you see the filing cabinet that has all the requests and requisitions and everything. And
All
right.
otherwise it's all
Through it.
quiet.
Let's look for specifically tonight when whoever requested all that glitter to get loaded up into the
As you're
It's,
walking in,
cannons? Question mark.
Tassalara, could you roll me a dexterity save for me?
Mm-hmm.
As you're approaching, Tassalara, you wind up tripping and falling over what looks like a fallen broom. And when you correct yourself, you accidentally step and you try to prevent yourself from falling, and you wind up doing the sideshow Bob, and you accidentally step on a rake that smacks you in the face for just 1 point of damage.
And then Norm's like, "Hey, don't touch that. That's where I keep the rake."
What's that? A squeak of pain is. Who left all these tools around? She rubs her
It's
nose.
literally where we leave the tools around.
Dan, you're the first one to get to the cabinet. And you pull out the forms. You see the only person that's checked out the last day, the biggest quantity, because there's like a list of people, and you see like sign-ins of who was here and who checked things out. You see like, oh, this person requested like a cup of glitter.
It should be pretty clear who requested the giant auditorium's audience worth of glitter.
Yeah, you see that it was actually requested by the guy who did it. The name Buster McFluff. Though as you're looking, go ahead and give me an investigation. And anyone who else would be looking at it can also give me an investigation if you also wish.
This is our guy. Investigation.
I'm delighted if this turns out to be our biggest lead yet. That means I was right about the glitter machine, but I was wrong about tailing the nurse, which means it's perfectly in character that I was both right and wrong at the exact same time.
So you notice that was the biggest sign-in for glitter, of that day. But then you look at the day before, and you notice that Squeaky's name was written down, and he requested 2 barrels of glitter. But looking back,
son of a bitch.
You didn't see him all day that day.
This motherfucker.
And as you thinking of that, you hear a clunk, 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 over by the glitter machine. As you see the machine kind of rattle for a second before it kind of recorrects itself, and you hear something kind of like rattle again, hit the sides of it, and kind of plop out, and hit the ground in front of it.
Let's go take a look.
Go running over.
As you approach, you see the machine itself is still kind of like doing its spinning routine of like, because the process of making the glitter isn't like instant. It does take a couple hours to grind down whatever is put into it. And the glitter itself is very vibrant, and bright today. And you look, and it's like just a big spinning churn of red glitter. And then you notice the thing that fell out of it, and you notice that it is a tail. Specifically, a bright orange tail. As you're looking at this, and you're all kind of like, all 3 of you kind of like looking down at this, the camera would like zoom out from you as a bunch of different animated objects behind you begin to lift up, as we need to roll for initiative.
I like the greatest moment of my life that I am the worst detective, and I somehow got the connection completely right, including the using the glitter to dispose of dead bodies. That's just so wonderful. I'm hunting fucking drug kingpins in a mafia movie.
Oops, that shouldn't be that big.
Oh God! Do you want me to roll anything, Richard, or?
No, you're not there. It's just Tassalara, Dan, and Norm.
Although you were looking for Squeaky.
Gotta beat the shit out of him.
Well, they got a 1, but good news is they get a surprise round, so they basically just get a free swing at you.
The Clown Master?
Yes. You've never noticed that?
No.
I've had that since day 1.
That's funny. Should have been the ringleader.
So yeah, they get a surprise action as you weren't expecting them. There is 1 object for each of you. So there's going to be a slam on each of you. So 1 on Dan. It should be at advantage because you were surprised, but I need to disable the automatic. And then that will deal 4 points of damage to Dan. And then the next one and the next one. Okay, that will go down the order. Tassalara and Norm, I imagine those will both hit you. Tassalara, you take 6 points of force damage. And Norm, you take 4 points of force damage as you see the rake and broom from earlier, as well as what looks like a fucking rug of some kind. Oh wait, fuck. The rug doesn't actually do a normal damage. Hold on a second. That does a different damage.
Yeah, they smother.
Yeah, but they also do damage too. But so I'll do a 1d3 of who had the rug hit them. That'll be Norm. So the rug hit you. So it does 2d6 plus 3 instead of the damage you had taken.
Okay.
10 points of damage. And you are grappled. Actually, oh wait, no. Sorry. Instead of dealing damage, you take no damage, but you are grappled.
Okay.
And you are considered blinded and restrained. And on the start of your turn, you'll take that damage. So just hold off for now until your turn comes around.
Who cut the lights out?
So Dizzy Dan, you see Norm get wrapped around by a rug as a broom and a rake are floating around trying to smack you.
I pull out a small rod from my pocket and I click something on the side. It reveals that it's a folded, quarterstaff, collapsing quarterstaff. And then, as my spell says there with the new flavor text I threw in there, I twist a comically large hammerhead onto this quarterstaff to create a comically large hammer. And I'm going to start smashing these constructs. Is that what they are?
Yes.
All right. Well,
are you aiming for the rug or the one of the animated broom or rake?
Let's do the rake. That one seems like it could hurt someone the most.
You go to swing and you do wind up swinging a little bit wide as it's a little hard to hit this floating rake.
Okay. And then I'm going to... Yeah. Wait, never mind. That's it. That's my whole action.
No worries. Keep in mind, I don't have a map for this particular fight because it's a lot of theater of the mind for this one. It's a pretty small room, to be fair.
Yeah.
Okay, well, didn't actually put any of this attacks and shit into the sheet. I think. Pets use my attack, but deals like 1d8, wasn't it?
What was that?
So the animal companion uses my attack, but has 1d8 damage, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Or, sorry, Richard. I use my quarterstaff. I was actually supposed to use my shillelagh because I cast shillelagh. Do you mind if I...
Yeah.
Or we can even use that roll and just use the shillelagh.
Yeah, what would be the modifier? Because instead of using your strength, you would use your wisdom.
Yeah,
right?
that would be +7, so that would be a 17.
Okay, so that would hit. So go ahead and roll your shillelagh damage then. Okay, the rake is missing quite a few of its prongs, but it is still floating. Anyway, sorry I interrupted you, Kenneth. But yeah, I believe it is a D8 for it.
Like I said, hadn't plotted any of this shit out, so I've been slacking.
It's all good. It happens.
So, well, we're all in dread trouble. Seculus just starts chewing on the rug. Let's see if he actually does any damage. Nope.
Unfortunately, it tries to chew at the rug, but it's a rather sizable rug. So can't quite get too much damage onto it yet.
Yeah.
Not a scratchy post.
What was it? Thunder. Hey. Like I said, I did not do anything for these sheets. Probably just have her bat at whatever's nearest. Probably, what's the swing like her magic tote bag. Improvised. So.
Keep in mind you also have spells if you can't think of anything to do physically.
Yeah, but I haven't looked at druid spells at all.
Well then.
Yes.
With all shame, Kenneth. Shame.
Mhm.
Get the shame cone.
Doesn't manage to land anything either.
What is the shame cone?
It's like a traffic cone, but it just has the word shame spray painted on it.
What did you make
Oh,
him
it-
wear it around his
Oh,
neck?
I thought it was like the
No,
dog
it's
collar
from
cone.
Up. It's from Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the dog cone, the cone of shame.
You-
Oh. Yeah, that's what Secula's got one of those now.
Norm,
All
you
right.
will take. This is when you would take that 10 damage you were supposed to have taken.
Oh no.
But you are currently blinded and restrained, and you would have to make a escape attempt if you wanted to get out of it.
Well, can he, because he has the magic, metamagic subtle spell, which means he can cast without somatic or verbal.
Mm-hmm.
Could he cast reduce on the rug that's on top of him?
Yeah. What's the save on that?
16 fort save.
Or save. What is?
Constitution save.
Yeah. Con save. That's what I meant. So that's just a flat D20 roll for that thing. Fail.
All right.
So this large rug becomes a medium-sized rug, and it can no longer grapple you.
Woohoo!
It can now only grapple small or lower creatures. So you are free from the grapple, but it is still present, and it is still a threat.
Got it. Oh wait, do I need to cast on my wild magic
Yes.
for casting? Shit.
That could make things go good or bad.
It could. What was it called? Flash of flame. Oh,
You just roll a
where's
D.
the surge
20, I
table?
believe,
Here it
right?
is. Yep. Here we go.
Because I have it up if you wanted to roll a D20.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't know where to find it. So,
No, you're fine.
clown shoes. Your shoes magically expand into comically large clown shoes. You suffer disadvantage on dexterity checks, but your speed is increased by 10 feet for 1 minute.
So you're a little bit faster now. Honestly, that makes me think of I know there's a scene in what's it called? Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where someone grows clown shoes like that.
Yep. So, as he's completely disappeared under this giant rug, all of a sudden you see huge clown shoes grow out from underneath the rug, and then the rug shrinks down and he throws it down. He's like, "What?"
Okay. Well
I
then,
meant to do that.
the rake and broom are going to both swing away. One on Tassalar, one on Disdain. So these will be at normal, not advantage. So one against Disdain, 18 I think will hit. 4 force. Then against Tassalara, 22 I'm definitely sure will hit for 6. And then same attack roll for the rug to attack Norm. 19. I assume since you're a sorcerer, you don't have super high AC.
Oh yeah, that hits. He has no AC.
Let's try to see what happens when you reduce. They do 1d4 damage less on the hit. Okay. So you take 3 points of damage. That 1d4 rolled a 4 and pretty much negated the die roll from the actual
Yeah.
damage.
Negated to 2d6.
But it cannot grapple you anymore, so.
It's a good thing.
Dizzy Dan.
All right, so is it just the rug that's still up, or do we still have
No,
the...
everything's still up. The rake is the only thing that's really been damaged.
Okay, then I'll just attack the rake again. I thought I had destroyed it.
Now the question is, do we hear the sound of a bull in the china shop yet?
I think perhaps we do, Richard. Rumbling in the distance that you guys can hear. But this turn, I'm going to hit the rake again with the shillelagh
That'll hit.
for another 8.
And the rake shatters into pieces and falls to the ground.
And then bonus action, I will healing word Norm for 8 damage.
Oh, thank you, sir. What is Dan? Is he a bard?
He's a druid.
Yeah, this is the double druid party.
Dude, y'all were having a druid
Still
party
doesn't
and
beat
you
our
didn't let
record.
me know?
Yep.
Well, it wouldn't be nearly as bad in 5e as it would in Pathfinder. It's surprisingly
Also,
hard to
even
get
with
the game.
Pathfinder, it was bad because of the modular you're running.
Yeah, I will come to our defense of that. 'Cause there was at least a couple of us. I know one person didn't take an animal companion, and then I said I have an animal companion, but I just use him for his movement speed. So I was fundamentally still just one guy.
I mean, mine was designed to be mounted the entire time, anyways, as well. So
It just,
Yeah.
I didn't know we were going into a small enclosed
Yeah.
space, and then none
Yeah,
of our
that-
yeah,
animals could
That,
fit.
that teeny tiny itty bitty.
yeah,
dungeon.
yeah,
A small
Mine
enclosed
was-
space with like 20 NPC companions too.
yeah.
Yeah. Mine
It was funny
blatantly
looking back
not.
on it, but it was probably so frustrating for Michael.
I just remember us trying to cram into this room to do a fight, and we're triggering the next room.
Yeah.
We're so fucking big.
Anyway,
Talk about a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
Great
Tesla.
memory.
Going between healing myself or getting the fuck out.
If I can just interject on that last notion, my mind just went to from the defender's position of, there's this noise raucous and basically just a tide of bodies just forcing their way in through the space.
Yeah, we were displacing the oxygen in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody could move. I remember that.
I'm sorry, Kenneth. What did you say you were doing? We got distracted there for a second.
Guess I'll cast cure wounds on myself because I am very low. She does not have much health.
Yeah.
Yep, as of yet, I haven't cast a concentration spell, so I'm still technically disguised. When I do, it'll undisguise me, but...
Okay, 1d8 plus ability mod. I'm realizing I don't remember. Druid's wisdom, isn't it?
Yes. And that'll be your homework before we play next, is to finish your character sheet.
Mhm.
Heal for 4, and or you say you're just getting out of dodge after that?
Yeah. Yeah, try to go for the door.
The rug won't, but the broom will get an attack on you as you try to flee.
Mm-hmm.
13 might hit or might miss. I'm not sure.
That'll still hit. She only has 12 AC.
Gotcha. So you take 4 points of force damage. You were able to negate it with your cure spell, but you are out of harm's way. I imagine your animal companion went with you.
Yep.
Norm. Ugh, excuse me.
How do you determine spell save DC in 5e?
It's 8 plus your spell casting modifier, which is I think for you charisma,
Yep.
And
Plus
plus your
proficiency.
plus your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
level
Good.
3.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Then.
it should automatically calculate on this pretty well.
Yeah, I was just trusting that it would. Okay.
Create
Norm was-
bonfire.
Did I click that already?
No, I'm looking on your character sheet, but it's misspelled because it says bonfire, not bonfire. I wasn't sure if that was
That's interesting.
intentional.
No, I must have misspelled it. But that's what I'm gonna do. That's why it didn't come up. I spelled it wrong. I bet that's why it didn't come up in information and automatically link over. All right. Well, there it is anyway.
Okay, are you
Um,
targeted on the rug or the?
Oh, the rug. The rug is my enemy now.
Okay, and you said it's a dexterity save, correct?
Dex save, yes.
Feels a sudden sense of closeness with you.
D20 plus 2.
There's just something fitting about the janitor fighting a rug. I've been training my life for this moment.
4, that will fail. So at 5th
2d8.
level, it's 2d8, yeah?
Burn, baby, burn.
Okay, the rug is singed, but it is still in fighting shape.
Oh no, I created a bonfire. She's on fire, baby.
Hey, it's still fighting. It's just sizzling. Okay, Tassalara, they're not smart enough to chase you, so the broom is going to change its target to Dan. And Norm, you're still fighting the rug.
So I'm confused. Was there a guy in there, or was it just these?
So
things
you
just
looked in,
came
you saw a
alive?
bunch of red glitter, followed by the thing that flopped out of the glitter machine was a
Mhm.
orange tail. That's all you know
And
before you
then-
were attacked.
Got it. And then the tools came alive.
So broom slam, 20 to hit Dan. I imagine will hit. So 5 force damage,
Oh no, Squeaky was orange.
and then 10. Does that hit Norm?
His AC is a 10.
Okay, so that will hit you. Man, none of y'all have AC. I swear.
I
Well,
got,
not
I got
wearing
AC. I got 15. That's Dex and 11.
10 points of damage.
I don't have any armor.
And then I need you to make a concentration check because enlarge reduces a concentration spell. I forgot about that.
Mm.
So that is just a Constitution save, I believe. Or is it a check?
Save.
Save, okay. So yeah, you're able to maintain the spell, so it is still reduced. Negated a little bit there, but not as much as the last time. And Dan, you said you had a concentration spell going, right?
Yeah.
So go ahead and make a Constitution save as well. You only have to get a 10 because they didn't do that much damage to you, but yep, you're fine. This is Dan.
All right. Well, one of the walls of this workshop is gonna bust open, Kool-Aid Man style,
Nice.
as Alboro the Bucking Bull arrives, smelling out Dan finally. And you just see him comically, a large gulp.
A very visible gulp as well, I imagine.
Uh-huh. But yeah, that was an action. Then I'm going to use Healing Word again. Yeah, that's the move. Yeah, I'll use it on Norm again.
And the summon animal does have its own initiative, so I'll bring it in so you can roll initiative for it.
Yep.
I think you have control over it.
Yeah. Where is there an? Oh, there it is. I lost track of where initiative was on these NPC sheets.
Whoops.
And look at that.
Just because it works better, I'll have it go right before Tassalar, since it's your summon anyway.
All right. He's going to keep charging directly at Dan, but he's got a bit of a concussion from the wall, so he's going to miss and hit the broom. The broom is the one that's attacking me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He's going to go wide and hit the broom. Can these things be knocked prone?
I believe so. It doesn't say anything about being immune to it, so. Yeah, so if they hit, it'll get an extra 2d8 damage and be knocked prone if it's still alive. That is a scary bull.
So yeah, I think. Do you do the strength or do I? I think you do.
Well, I think you have to make the attack roll because it's I
Oh,
made a
yeah.
character sheet for you to have.
Yeah.
Because this is only if it hits. 12. Enemy objects. Yeah, unfortunately, it manages to like go right between you. You manage to like just barely get out of the way
What
of
if-
its graze.
What if he's flanking with Dan? Consider that 14.
I mean, either way, it's gonna miss. So it barely manages to avoid hitting you and the broom at the same time. Tesla, you managed to get out of dodge right before you saw a fucking bull just charge straight through the wall and into the building.
Yeah, I'm gonna wild shape into a cat and take off into the night, see if I can't find either Board or Mr. Cox to get reinforcements.
Fair enough.
Want like a flat luck check or something.
I am
Yeah.
on campus.
Yeah, just go ahead and give me a D100. As long as you get, I'll say 60 or higher, you can find him within time for him to arrive.
But if he's
Nope,
undercover
not
tonight,
quite.
you'll never locate him.
So this next turn he won't be available, but I'll allow you to retry in your next turn, and the chances of it will be easier.
And
Next
I
up.
know exactly what I'm going to do. If Pope's still grappled by that rug when I show up, I'm just going to shoot the rug.
Well, Norm, the rug is still in your face. It is your turn.
Would the rug still be on fire?
I don't think.
They don't really catch fire with that spell. I don't think.
Okay. So he would have moved out of where the bonfire is. Now that I'm reading it, it sounds like you created it on the ground.
Yeah, and it's concentration, so. Which means also that means reduced per is
the
gone.
bonfire. Oh, I didn't know cantrips could be concentration.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So yeah, he is no
I mean,
longer reduced, so he can grapple you next turn.
Technically speaking, you can choose just not to concentrate on a new spell after its initial effect.
Yeah, if you want to say that you just got rid of it after you cast it to hurt it,
Yes,
I'll allow you
I-
to keep reduce on it.
Yeah.
And that way it stayed reduced. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
what I
allow
would've done. Then he's going to do that again.
Go for it.
Shoot another bonfire. at him.
Dexterity save, right?
Yes, sir.
It's going to be this roll plus 3. 16, I think we'll just barely manage to avoid the fire.
All right.
And I think since it's a cantrip, it'll take no damage from that.
I believe you.
I mean, I can just go check it right now.
Here, I just hit it. Wait, I want it to talk.
'Cause I wasn't trying to make it talk. I was just trying to click on the eye, the eye there. Or take 1d8. So yeah,
Yep.
it manages to avoid it. Okay, is that your turn?
That is it.
Okay.
Hey.
They're gonna do object things and try to. This is actually gonna try to smack the bull because it's in its face now. So 21 against the bull, I imagine will hit for 7 points of force.
Gotcha. Probably should make the bull an actual token, so it'll just be easier to track stuff.
Yeah, I'll do that next time. I just forgot about it.
Yeah, it's all good.
And then the rug will just hit you because your AC is poopy butts. For 12 points of damage.
I
Does
love
an
that you say
automatic
this like
one
we have
lift?
money for armor.
Oh wait, that's damage.
Hey, I told you guys you could buy shit before you started.
I have armor.
I don't remember.
Yeah, at least I'm not the only one that didn't do their homework.
Yeah, I thought we only.
Well, I mean,
got
Norm
items.
can't wear armor because he's a caster, so. But Dan could wear armor. could
Okay.
just say- Like next
Ret-
time we play, you could just say that you're wearing like the school
Retcon, I
approved
have a
bodysuit.
vocal sword and a suit of power armor.
You know what I meant. Don't even start. with that.
What was the hit on the bull?
It'll be 7 points of force damage. It's 21 to hit.
Cool.
I'll let you have a purple sword. It's like a vorpal sword, but it only cuts through purple objects.
And the other slam
take it.
doesn't hit.
The 10 was against Norm, which does hit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's real bad, Norm. you have a character, you have NPC AC right now.
Yep.
He'll just have to upgrade and get mage armor someday.
All right. So Dan is going to panic and then transform into a bull, and they're going to lock horns with this broom in the middle.
I like it.
But mechanically, that'll only be one attack because he has to transform this turn.
That'll hit.
Why doesn't it roll the damage?
It is for me. I just accidentally clicked it.
Oh, I think it's one of those things where it comes to the end of the script or whatever.
Well, it hit for 17 points of damage. It destroys that broom just outright. It just crushes between the two horns.
And Norm's like, what the fuck is going on?
Tesla, go ahead and give me another D100. Now you just got to get 50 or higher to find Willie J. Cox. Nope. Still looking for him. Norm. The rug is the only thing left to deal with.
Burn it.
Doing the same thing?
Yep.
Okay. D20. And that would fail, so. Takes 1d8, or 2d8, sorry. So 8 plus minus 18. It is still going. And it's just kind of locked on you, Norm. I'm not going to lie. Hey, I think it actually misses.
Starting to fear my fire.
Yeah, it's getting a little frayed at the edges. It's having a hard time wrapping around your limbs. It's trying to, like, rug burn you. It's getting rug burnt itself. Dizzy Dan. Are you saying something, Michael?
Oh yeah, Dizzy Dan's gonna try and tag this rug with the horns and kite away the bull, waving the rug in the air.
Gotcha. That will hit the rug.
And then, there we go. 11 piercing.
So let me see. Let me do the calculations. Yeah, you managed to like gore the rug and run out the door to lead the bull away, as the rug is now limp in your horn as you're leading the bull out of the workshop, as the fight is now over.
And Norm is left alone. I need to use the restroom again.
Yeah, no worries. We can take another bathroom break real quick.
So
Stop.
the mention of that purple sword made me realize that would be absolutely brutal in the hands of a wizard who has prestidigitation.
Oh, turning people purple. Yeah,
Mhm. The other
I didn't
two
say it'll cut their
options-
heads off. I'm just saying it can't cut anything that's not purple.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is, you could make sure that with just a quick prestidigitation cast,
Oh, imagine
No
the
one's
scams
immune to
you could
you.
run.
right?
Yeah.
We could always give them one of the magic swords they gave in a different campaign, like the Sword of Domination. Every time you roll a natural 20, it just says the words dominating as you're hitting. Nothing else. Just a normal
I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
just
quality
that
sword right
quake
there.
announcer
yeah.
voice. All the
I
options
saw
I've
someone make a
seen-
meme sword the other day. They were talking about it on TikTok, and they're like, every time you rolled an embarrassing failure of an attack, it would ask, "Are you winning, son?"
Lovely. All the options I was seeing quickly on the druid spell list probably would have made the situation worse because they're just AoEs that affect everyone. But I was very tempted to cast Entangle, but flavored instead of plants, it was just like a field with tiny little wacky waving inflatable tube men.
That would have been great.
I mean, just more chaos into the scene. It's
Yeah, there's a lot of crowd control spells in the
Yeah.
druid spell list.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, first combat of the game. Of course, it was
Uh-huh.
against animated objects.
Mhm.
And of course, Willie J. Cox missed it.
Yeah, the
It's
answer
fine.
is you left all the tools out in the room.
You see, that's the thing. I was wrong, but I was also right about everything. Glitter
Man, Willie's gonna be stroking his ego
objects-
so hard.
can't be trusted. I put this in the opening monologue. I said the pie cart couldn't be trusted, so now we can't trust objects, and objects tried to kill you.
Mhm.
You think I'm crazy, but I've been ahead of this game the entire time. I told you I didn't need therapy.
Crazy? I was crazy once.
I am absolutely loving your character's dynamic combo. It is great.
No, the kobold's not dead. I'll get to that when we bring it up in character.
What was that? You're a little quiet.
Oh, I said I'll get to it when we're in character, but the kobold's not dead.
You thinking he pulled the old lizard detachable tail trick?
Mm-hmm. Didn't trust him from day one. That's why I was laying into him. He didn't get too friendly with Board. He was trying to get in on the investigation. You laugh, but I've been right about most things so far.
I know. Right now, I feel like Board's just living that college, comedy, movie lifestyle right now. He's got that big pro tag vibe for a college movie.
Mm.
And I'll be honest, I expected the fat man with the cannons to die, but one way or another, we're narrowing the suspect
I'm
list down.
You. I think you're the only one that vanished, so I think we can.
Well, yeah,
resume.
now we got to investigate that guy who's on the ledger.
But we'll go from there as Tathalar does eventually find Willie J. Cox. Dan is busy running from a bull, and Norm is left alone for the moment. We flash back to Board going up the stairs with Binky.
Mhm.
Binky kind of calls back to Board. I'm sorry about the lighting. The electricity's been on the frisk. We haven't been able to call the mechanic in a while.
No problem. I see
Shoots
pretty
another-
well without light, anyways.
Shoots some more seltzer in his mouth as he walks up. He opens the door to his room. It's just littered with old pie tins and just smells of old cream.
Mm. Ugh. So how'd you come by to get his hammer, or how'd you come across his hammer?
Huh? Oh, at first I was going to make the prank giant pie that I was going to take his hammer and smack it into the pie and cover everybody. But then you pranked me, so I figured I had to try to prank you back, and then it turned into a whole thing.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I appreciate the competition for sure.
Yeah.
But what were you planning doing with the hammer again? Just use it as part of a
Smash you some
prank?
pies.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Just gotta always be crushing pies, bro.
Mhm. No, I gotcha. That's awesome.
And he points with his seltzer taped hands over to the corner of the room that you
Mhm.
see the wrapped up what you assume is the hammer.
Can I do a sense move just to make sure that was true and he didn't force it away from Binky
Yeah,
or
go ahead and
Squeaky?
roll
I
me a
mean?
sense motive or insight, I guess.
Here we go.
Yeah. She's like, he just needed a hammer, and that was the easiest one to get.
Oh, fair. So yeah, Board will grab the hammer.
You grab the hammer, unwrap it to make sure it's Squeaky's,
Mhm.
and yeah, it just looks like his hammer. Looks a little dirty,
Mhm.
but it's hard to tell in the dark.
All right. Thanks, man. Yeah. What are you up to tonight? Just hanging out at the house?
Oh, as you can see, I have plans. As he holds up his two hands taped with seltzer.
Mm-mm. I think at
Very
this
busy
point,
plans, you know.
Board will take a look around the room just to kind of, now that he's in it, kind of do a little investigation of a potential suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And he has dark vision, so the fact that there's no lighting doesn't hinder him at all.
Go ahead and give me a perception. Because you're not really going through and thumbing through anything right now. You're just kind of looking
Yeah.
over.
That's the better one, anyways. And not the best dice rolls, but
Excuse me. So you see what probably looks like 20 to 30 empty pie tins. Some of them have various forms of mold or crust on them that he just didn't eat.
Mhm.
Definitely not the cleanest guy.
yeah.
But with that perception, you don't really see anything else that kind of screams out to you, anything noticeable.
Okay.
You see a pile of just unfinished projects he has.
Mhm.
But that's all you see.
Okay. Well, I guess with the hammer, he would say, "Thanks, man." Just
Seltzer
kinda
for
give
the
him-
road? He
Sure,
holds
why
up one of
not?
his hands.
Yeah, I'll take some.
Shoots you in the face again. And
Gives
you're
a pat
able
on
to
the
get
shoulder and
away
walks out.
scot free.
And I think, yep, I'm gonna look for Squeaky.
So Board spends the night looking for someone he can't find.
Mhm.
Willie, you're brought in with Tassalara as you see Norm. Just probably a lot of bruises at this point, more than anything. Rug burns on his arms.
Rudmers.
I mean, how else is the rug gonna attack you other than wrapping itself around you and twisting and shit?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, 100.
All right. Seeing that the action has ended, I holster my pistol and what do they call it? The breast holster, the thing where it's underneath your arm,
I think it's just a
Shoulder holster?
Shoulder.
shoulder holster. Thank you. I always forget what that's called. Yeah, put
I
it in my
think the technical term is titty pocket.
So he puts his gun away in his titty pocket.
Was it my titty? I was sorry. That's a slight tangent, but it's just calling it something like that reminded me of this last Monday when I did an in-person D&D game. The DM described a pseudo dragon as roughly the size of a corgi, And I said, I want you to describe everything in measurement terms of corgis from now on. And then later on in the session, they're like, how big is the statue? And he goes, let's see. I would say it's about 14 corgis long and 8 corgis tall when it's lying down. I was like, ooh, it's pretty big.
That's a fun DM right there.
That's fun.
Would not be that big. Those are tiny little fucking dogs.
Well,
Well,
it
it
was
depends
big.
on if you're doing foot to shoulder height or tail to
Yeah,
snoot.
it was big. It was big for being on a wagon. But anyway. What happened here? I asked Norm.
Rug burns.
Objects came to life and tried to
we-
kill you.
We had, I wouldn't say they came to life. It was just like the janitor's worst nightmare. All of the tools in the shed, all of the tools in the closet
Do it.
came back to fight me.
Everything's happening exactly as I expected it to be. I go over to the glitter machine. My brake of it has been repaired, I assume, from the fact that it was in operation. Richard?
I'm sorry, what'd you say? Sorry, I got distracted.
Glitter machine repaired? Yes, no?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't look like it has any worse for wear from when you disabled it.
Mhm. See the orange tail. Take a handkerchief and I pick the tail out of the red glitter, and then I give it a little punch to see if it feels familiar.
It definitely has that same give that you're used to.
Mhm.
No,
Now,
that
buddy.
was something out of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. So we're thinking Squeaky got fed into the machine, turned into the glitter.
I mean, it's his tail.
That or the tools were playing pin the tail on the broom, and we startled them and they dropped it.
Nah, most living tools have a religious against that kind of thing. Let's see here. I'm gonna give a very bad investigation roll.
Net 19.
No,
Very bad.
Richard, is this the actual ground up remains of a corpse, or is this a lizard detached his tail situation? Because the wound, the severance would be different. And keep in
Oh, yeah.
mind,
This is not a detached tail. This is actual it got loose during the shredding of said body.
gotcha. Is it a ragged cut or like a clean cut? Because a ragged cut would mean that it was like
This is like it was being ground up, and in the process, it kind of just popped off and got shot
Yep.
out of the machine.
first investigation roll I did this entire game with a -1, and it's a
I
fucking
love it.
natural
I
one.
love
Nat
it.
20.
I'm just in the moment. Well, now the question we gotta answer is, why did someone want Squeaky dead? I got a few theories. He was buying drugs from Jimmy Juggles, and he also mentioned he had gambling debts. It's 2 areas where he was lagging behind. He's also an annoying little twerp, so we can't rule out normal enemies. But someone animated these objects, which means they had to be smart enough to do that kind of magic. So we need to overlay those 2 categories: drugs, gambling, animate objects, magics, and most importantly of all, really living off of this natural 20 right now. Had to know that someone was going to come looking for him to lay the trap.
Or maybe they laid the trap in case someone stumbled on this corpse. But I guess that doesn't really lead anywhere.
we
Cut
know
back
that?
to
I knew it.
Secula chewing on the tail.
Yeah, I was just like, I knew it from what happened with the pie cart the other day. Inanimate objects can no longer be trusted on this campus. And you know who else was involved with the runaway pie cart?
Board.
Ford. Or, yeah, Binky Borgerson. Like Binky Borgerson. And who do we think had?
I imagine that was a character.
Yeah.
Bored.
No,
No,
dude.
Binky Borgers.
hold on. I look at like the smudged Sharpie writing on the back of my This looks like a penis now. Anyway,
What was your question? Second question.
Binky had his hammer, and Binky was a part of the pie cart that went berserk. Now other objects are going berserk. This is just the beginning, mark my words. I don't think it's the right time yet to be fingering Binky, but we need to be really coming down to who we're going to be fingering for this.
Flipwick.
Well, someone was yelling at him, but we don't know who. Do you think maybe he has an accomplice or is someone's accomplice?
I was kind of just thinking we'd accuse them of a crime.
Just have William walk up to him and say, "We know you were jaywalking."
Well, who do we know that can cast spells?
Pretty much everybody in the school.
Yeah.
Are we all together at this point, or is it still just them?
You probably haven't rejoined them yet, Board.
Okay.
Because
more
this
like-
might happen while you were getting the hammer, and then Willie showed up, so you'd probably be a ways away still.
Okay, that works.
In this school, I imagine it's more like who doesn't cast spells.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, Squeaky don't know more.
Because
So,
yeah, they seem
Yeah.
I take a big drag of a cigarette and lean up against the wall and say, but the real thing that I can't figure out is how the prostitutes fit into this. It's one thing I know deep in my bones is that Cobalt wasn't getting any, even with money. They would just rob him. Prostitutes are tough.
Right, if there's any time for Board to just appear into a scene.
Yeah, I feel like that is appropriate then.
Did we find the prostitutes?
You ask as you see Willie waving around an orange tail.
What's that?
Oh, remains. Check it out. It wiggles.
Would Board recognize that?
I mean, it's pretty easy to put two and
Yeah,
two together. There's
yeah.
not many kobolds in the school.
I think at that point, Board would be just in shock.
Mhm.
Ooh.
The rest of you, go ahead and roll me perception for everybody else.
and then Board is like, whoever did it, they even took a bite mark out of his tail. And then, meanwhile, Tassalar is like hiding Secula behind him.
Listen, kid, I know.
Yeah,
you
they
think that,
totally did that.
But if you're
Um,
really good at jigsaw puzzles, the rest of them's over there.
So as you were all talking, you do notice that Board came in with the hammer that he had retrieved,
Mhm.
and now that it's actually in a room that's lit up and you can see more than just in black and white and the dark,
Mhm.
there are bloodstains on the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Beat him to death
there's
with his own
actually
hammer.
like handprints on it.
Who'd you beat up with that hammer?
No, but I just grabbed this from Binky's room. You said Oh, I'm
How
going-
big are the handprints?
You can make an investigation check.
Sure. There it is.
They look about the average size of a college student.
Bingo. We need to find that guy named Bingo.
Binky.
No, earlier in the session there was a not Binky. There was another guy named Bingo.
Oh,
Yeah, Bingo Featherstone.
Yeah, Bingo Featherstone. We need to find Bingo Featherstone because Bingo. And then we need to catch a red herring.
so we're gonna go kick Binky's ass right now, right? Because
Well, first we got to do something with cracked open Etch-a-Sketch over there. I gesture towards the glitter machine.
what should I do with this? I mean, should I clean it off? What?
No, definitely not. Could be evidence to help us catch the killer, and if all else fails, it would be a really interesting conversational speech in the study. Piece in the study.
I'm gonna. Where should we hide it then, or should I just hold on to it?
Bring it with us.
Bort will find some cloth and wrap it in it. Should we inform somebody about this? Because that was my buddy right there.
Your first time, kid?
Suppose so.
Here.
At least like this.
I hold out a cigar to you.
I'll take it.
Let me give you some advice from my hard-earned time, both on the force and as a PI. Those feelings you got now, the grief, rage, the shock of seeing someone die, you gotta take those feelings, you gotta shove them deep, deep, deep down. So deep down that no therapist with a jackhammer will ever be able to get it out. If you ever feel anything like this again, you gotta tell yourself, that's not me. I do not feel that way. Someone else is doing this to me and they need to be stopped with violence or alcohol, preferably.
I mean,
I hold out a flask to you.
I'll take a swig at that too and say, I'm gonna boink the shit out of the person that did this to Squeaky with Squeaky's own hammer.
Yeah, it's strange how rage and sexual attraction overlap a lot.
I was trying to think how to parse that joke in an appropriate way. I'm glad you
Who
did
said
it.
anything about sex?
It's gonna boink the crap out of someone. Listen, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, kid. I'm just saying if you cross that Rubicon, it makes the mirrors weird. All right. Let's stay focused, though. The headmaster, the dean, wants us to keep this on the down low. You can't get the boys in blue involved. Especially since they're likely just to stick their ding-a-ling in that machine and mess it all up anyway. Norm, you're a janitor. You got caution tape?
1 second. 1 second. He reaches into his bucket and he pulls out a tiny wooden sign that reads, "You got this."
All right. What would it take to need to have an entire building closed down for cleaning?
Wait, here we go. He reaches back into his bucket. and pulls out a wet sandwich of unknown origin. And he starts taking a bite of it. And he goes, well, that's easy. I can just lock the door and say close, right close on the front.
All right, we're shutting this entire building down for now. No one in or out.
And we're not going after Binky right now?
Oh no, we're gonna go physically assault someone. We just need to make
Okay.
a full list of who it's gonna be. Probably multiple people.
I think Binky should be the first.
Probably Pinky.
Goes.
We can use that hammer, and we can definitely pin this on Jimmy Juggles.
Yeah, and don't forget the guy on the ledger who ordered all that glitter for the ceremony where we all got blasted. He's almost certainly involved as well.
yeah, is it that last guy out of character? It was the
I can't
guy who
remember
actually
his
did the
name.
performance because he was actually written.
Buster McFluff.
Yes,
Buster
Buster
Mc- yeah.
McFluff. We need to find him.
Bingo.
In the meantime, it's time to pay Binky a visit. Bids for some concrete shoes.
Roundabout
shake.
begins to play as we begin to go into To Be Continued, because I feel like that's a great stopping point.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep.
Hope it was a fun session for y'all.
It was.
Mm.
I feel like we're about to turn into murder clowns.
Always is.
So,
I'm glad
so
I
just a
fi-
clown.
Yeah.
glad I finally got to use this build for this
Yeah.
druid.
I am tickled to absolute pig that I was wrong and right about everything at the exact
Yeah.
same time.
I love how you're like failing up every time, even with the dice roll. Like native one investigation, not 20 though.
I love the double bull ultimate move I got there.
Yeah, that's
Like
pretty
I'm
fun.
fucking. Is his name just Ino
That is
from
a fun
from
battle dynamic
Naruto,
for sure.
where he's got the dog that he's
Oh,
always doing the team up attacks with.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't. It's not Shoji. Why did I think of him
yeah,
first?
Choji's the one that turns into a boulder.
I can't remember his
Done.
name. But that's kind of what I was
Kiba?
thinking about when I made
Kiba. Is his name.
Kiba.
Yeah,
I just typed in
unin-
Dog Guy Naruto and Google knew exactly what I meant.
He's like one of the least important characters in that whole show, but they show him doing like two cool things.
There's a bunch of characters that are just way not important in that entire
Man,
show.
the fact that they didn't utilize Rock Lee ever after the time skip is just
he
feels criminal to me.
he honestly
he's
should
so
have been the
cool.
protagonist of the show.
He's so cool.
Yeah.
I really wish he would have been. I think
Yeah.
the show would have been better myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, like honestly, literally everything about his team. Like I'm not saying substitute
Yeah.
for Particle. I just make it about that team instead.
Yeah, I'd be very intrigued by that team.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love like Niji's fighting style there.
Yeah, and
And
the
isn't
fact
the
that
other
he's
one the girl
to
that has
give-
like uses the scrolls?
Yeah,
to
she uses
give-
weapons, and it was super underutilized. Even though
Yeah.
the idea of a weapon-based character is interesting.
Yeah,
that,
give-
that team was cooler, I think.
Yep.
To give Cope some context, because I know he doesn't have a clue what we're talking about. This character, in a world where everybody uses magic, just
Yeah,
punches people, and that's just the cool thing about him. He can't use magic at all. He's a complete inept. Like can't even pass the basic kindergarten test on. They call it ninjutsu because they're ninjas in this show. But he just punches good.
yeah. He just like, all right, well, I'm just gonna focus all my training on martial combat, and you know, is a badass in so many ways because of it.